All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing this fine Sunday morning? Dexter Wiseman, how you doing, sir? Welcome to the show. This is week number three, match day number three. What exciting couple matches we got here. How we doing this morning, sir?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Bright and early,
Yeah,
all set, ready to go. Excited to watch this. This should be great.
yeah, that
The Ontario guys must be feeling pretty good. They get that extra 2 hours of sleep that people out here aren't going to be getting. But small advantage for the people out east. That's for sure.
yeah, you're right. Kind of like last week, we had the Okanagan Eclipse on, and that
Hmm.
was, of course, they were the 9 a.m. game, and they're 8 a.m. playing in Vernon area. So I mean, you're getting up at whatever time, 6 o'clock, 6:30, get yourself ready, get yourself to the lanes and early. But you're right, so a bit of an advantage, obviously, to the T-Bay Bowling Club, and then the Sleeping Giants, who are also playing today. They're an 11 o'clock start time or a noon start time. So we'll ask them if that makes a difference. So there we are, show three, match one. We've got the Timmins Mighty Plucks playing the GP Holy Rollers playing out of Grand Prairie. The Timmins Mighty Plucks will then take on their Northern Ontario rivals, the T-Bay Bowling Club. And in match three, we'll have the GP Holy Rollers back at it against the T-Bay Bowling Club. Do you think there's a bit of a rivalry there, Dexter, with Thunder Bay and Timmins, a couple of Northern Ontario teams? First match, game day that they're playing each other, or are they pretty good friends? You think?
Yeah, I think there should be a little bit of rivalry. I mean, no different than us with you guys.
Yeah,
The Dream Crushers of the BPG. It's not an aggressive rivalry, but it's just a friendly little rivalry in between. I'm sure there's got to be something, you would think, for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I know there's some friendly banter that always goes on between Greg and Al and those guys too. So both of them have a pretty good sense of humor, and both of them have a pretty good ability to chirp the other. So I'm sure that there's a little bit of a rivalry for
Yeah,
sure.
well, and of course they've got Taylor Michelle on the one team too. That he's pretty easy to chirp
Yeah,
away. And like we've talked about, not much doesn't make it out of his mouth if it's coming into his head. It's getting out of there, isn't it?
yeah. He might be one of the most quick-witted people I've ever met. So yeah,
Yeah,
if he's got something sharp to say, he's gonna say it, and it's gonna be funny.
yeah.
So yeah.
Quickly before we go on, you got to play yourself last week. How did that experience for you? Obviously, we didn't chat with you afterwards, but the Dream Crushers did get off to a good start. Two victories against the Heartland Kingpins and the Okanagan Eclipse. How was that for you and the team to get first match day under
It
completed?
was great. I mean, it was nice to be back in the team atmosphere. Obviously, it was a bit of a different sort of team atmosphere, but it was great. It still had the team. Um, yeah, just the whole chemistry. It had just the excitement and the anticipation, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. We had a blast. I didn't play all that great to start, but I kind of figured something out. And honestly, I've done all these the 8 gamer matches and been filmed, and like that's all fine and whatever. But it was weird being back in a team atmosphere after a couple of years of not being in it and having that pressure of, you know, not wanting to let down the team. So it was weird to try to overcome that again because it's a feeling that we don't really remember all that well at this point, honestly.
Yeah, and you notice that on the live stream is that some of the players you may take a couple of frames, or a guy like our president Kerry Kreitz, who really didn't get things going, and a sub had to make, and unfortunately didn't get back into the game. So it takes a couple of frames. We hope teams obviously get off to a good start, but the reality is then you have a sub there able to come in. So good to see
Absolutely.
you guys. Good to see you have you off and rolling. Let's bring in our managers for the first game today. So we've got the Mighty Plucks represented by Al Paquette, and we've got the GP Holy Rollers with Gerald Hafner. Guys, how you doing this morning?
Really good, thanks. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing great
Excellent.
here. Al, you're doing good. You're ready to go. How are things there?
Yeah, good to go, guys. Yeah, I think we're all excited to just get going here. So we're already 9 minutes past. So we're all cold now. So we're making excuses already.
Yeah,
And apparently you guys are giving us advantages already, saying Northern Ontario has an advantage for the extra 2 hours of sleep. Just
oh
being
Oh,
yeah,
thrown under
oh
the
yeah,
bus here, like just giving
yeah.
us all
Yeah.
like
yeah.
now there's way too much pressure on our shoulders. So we'll probably just buckle and just no,
We've
no,
definitely
it's all
found
good,
there's a
guys.
few advantages. We know that the team from GP Holy Rollers let's just put it out there right now, guys. If you're bowling on one lane for this event. You better warm up on that lane. There's no rules saying that you can't warm up on that lane. So we had a little talk with GP, and I think there was some miscommunication there by one of his players that said you can't bowl in the lane that we're playing on. Well,
I'll deal with Hoka
later.
later.
Yeah. Gerald, how are things going in GP? First time for this crew to get things under action. Had some warm up, had some practice. How are guys feeling? And
everybody's jacked up. They've been jacked for 3 or 4 days. Once they knew who they were bowling, they were pretty pumped up about it. And you know what? It's just good to be doing this. You guys are amazing to put this together and make it happen, and to continue to make it happen. It's creating some excitement, and I know we're going to have a lot of people watching this morning because I promoted the crap out of it. So look forward to going head to head with Al here. I wish I was bowling against Al actually now, because he looks like he's about the same age as me. You're about 51 now. You're about 51, buddy.
I don't know. If you get my side profile, I got a lot of white hairs. But
yeah, I like the chirp. Al, do you think that you get a bit of advantage? You guys did have an exhibition game. Obviously, a couple of the players that played in the exhibition aren't. We made some roster changes, so you have some new players, but. A bit of comfort in knowing that the team has been together. You practiced. You had a bit of on-camera work. How does that weigh into things?
I think just logistically to set up the cameras and stuff, it helped out a little bit. But everybody's here was bowled opens or masters and stuff like that. So, for a format of this style is a little. It's going to be the same kind of thing. It's just a matter of following the live stream and stuff like that, and making sure we don't get a frame ahead in case we get hot or something like that kind of thing. So we'll just be getting used to that. But now that that was also an exhibition game, right? I think nobody condones gambling, but I think me and Bailey had something on the line for the exhibition just to make it worthwhile kind of thing. But now it's go time, right? Now it's the actual tournament, right? You can practice all you want. It's good that everybody on the team's been bowling leagues and stuff like that, so they all have a few games under their belt heading into this. So I think we're all ready to go.
Anything you want to share with us, lineup guys? You gonna set off a bit of your lineups, and then we'll get things rolling. Al,
go ahead, Al.
Well, I was the away team, so I had to put my lineup in first. So I have Joanne Sivigny as leadoff. I got Danielle Bertrand as second. I got myself third. Daryl Gauthier fourth, and then Jess Nugent fifth as the anchor. And then we have Eric Dio on the bench with us. So,
Okay, good stuff.
Excellent.
And Gerald?
And I've got Corey Peugeot leading off with Carter Stretch second. Robert Tompkins, hopefully he'll just disappear in the middle there at his third. And Scotty Hoka in fourth. And Danny Stewart bringing up the rear with Sean Tompkins waiting on the bench.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
So you're running with the one female. Corey's got to play the whole time, obviously.
Correct.
No sub there. And obviously, Al, you can make a change, but one of the ladies have to stay in the whole time. So.
Yeah, we have three girls, so we're not worried about that. So
you're not too worried about it. That's the unique difference. So we'll chat about that. Let's not keep you guys too long. Obviously, we're like you said, you're 9 minutes in. We're over late. But let's get rolling. Next ball you throw counts.
Good luck,
obviously,
Al.
you stay on the same lane. After frame 5, we'll run a commercial. Good luck, and we'll chat with you guys after the game.
Good luck, Al.
Okay, good luck to you as well.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
All good. All right, here we go.
Here we go, Dex. So maybe we'll see quickly the lineups before we get started, and the first bowler throws the balls there. So as Al mentioned, the mighty Plucks. You got Al Paquette, Daryl Gauthier, Eric Dion, Jess Levine, Danielle Bertrand, Joanne Sevigny, and Al is pulling double duties as the manager.
Yes.
For GP, Scott Hauka, Sean Tompkins, Carter Stretch, Robert Tompkins, Corey Peugeot, Danny Stewart, Caitley Hafner, and then Gerald is the manager. Caitley's not available for the day. That's why we mentioned that Corey will be playing the whole game.
Looks like they're playing in a pretty dark center over there right now, or they don't have all the lights on.
Yeah, mighty Plucks at Timmins. Maybe that's just the lighting in the building, but
Little cozy place.
yeah.
I always prefer the darker bowling alleys for whatever reason. It just feels comfortable. It's strange.
That's
A
good
great
start.
start by Corey.
Yeah, do you ever play glow bowling for practice, or is the bowling center at Sherwood your proprietor or Dexter? Can you turn off half the bankment of lanes and just play in the dark a little bit?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you can have every lane has its own switches, so you can turn off all the lanes if you want, or have a couple lanes on for lights or just one lane on for lights, whatever you need to do, for sure. Yeah.
So somebody early in the morning, you don't want to get the eyes too jacked on the fluorescent LEDs you want to play.
Honestly, when we switched to the synthetics, we had a lot of people being like, "It's too bright in here." So,
do we have a little bit of an issue here? GP looks like they bowled the first bowler under the practice bowling, but the scoring wasn't actually taking place yet.
Was Hawka in charge of that as well?
Could have been. So Corey's going to. We're having Corey rethrow that strike.
Yeah. Well, no, she. As far as I'm concerned, she threw the strike in proper succession.
Yeah. Corey, if you don't have to bowl right now, and we can give her the strike. Yeah. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Good catch. It wasn't
legit. Like she bowled it out of order or anything like that. It's just.
Yeah. Sounded like we had a little bit of fun here on the Timmins team. There was a potential shoe forgot at home. Luckily, Timmins is a pretty close area, so running back to was easy to go get.
I can't believe I have to say this, but notes to everybody going to a bowling tournament or a league or anything like that. You need your bowling balls and you need your bowling shoes.
Yeah,
crazy concepts.
So that's something to chat about. Obviously, Dexter's not. I mean, some probably new watchers today. If you're watching today, thanks for following along. Thanks for watching. If you want to share this post, share the link. Let your friends know. Sunday mornings, 5-Pin Bowling is back on TV. Just got to stream YouTube to wherever you do your normal streaming. But Dex, talk a little bit about the format of this. Obviously, Muddy Plucks are bowling out of Timmins in Northern Ontario. And Grand Prairie, GP's bowling out the Holy Rollers out of Grand Prairie. Talk about the difference and how we're doing the setup in two different towns.
I mean, ultimately, it comes down to having a couple of different cameras set up. One for the lanes, one for the scoring. It works great. Carrie does a great job in the back end, being able to cut those streams and blow up the scores for everyone to see nice and clear up there. And but it's really neat that you could play somebody in Grand Prairie and then facing somebody in Timmins across the country. The one thing that we really did find out doing the 8-gamer is that there's a lot of centers with great scoring that we just haven't seen. We talk about some of the centers that are, notoriously some of the best scoring in the country, but the reality is there's a lot of centers that are right up there with them. And, Timmins is supposed to be unbelievable scoring. GP has done a lot of work and their scoring is way better. So it's neat that we get to showcase that, but it's also neat that we get to see that, as different as these centers are, they're also not a whole lot different either.
Yeah, I mean, maybe from the lanes and the conditions and stuff like that, but you're right. Everybody's happy to be bowling at their home base. They're not, nervous coming in, traveling out of town and trying to play somewhere they're not familiar with. I mean, these bowlers are very familiar with the center. Obviously, there's no lane courtesy, so they're waiting to bowl against the person on the right or the left. They can go at their own time. Get into a groove with your team, and throw, right? It's an exciting format. A little bit unique that potentially the pinfall is better. We've talked about places like Bonnie Doon having really high pinfall. We haven't seen it yet. All the scores in all the matches have been really close. I think even within 30 or 40 pins. That we haven't had an outlier that is just the scoring is unreasonable and way too high and unfair. Or on the other side, the scoring has been terrible and really challenging, and pins aren't going down. It's so that's definitely comforting to know that everybody's playing on equal footing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's been really comparable, which is something we were obviously concerned about, but it also played a factor into teams choosing a center to play in too. I mean, even in Edmonton, we have BPG Bombers and our Dream Crushers playing at Sherwood Park, but you look at the next gen chose to bowl at Bonnie Doon, and it was because they wanted to see if that would be an advantage for them. And I don't know if it was. I mean, they played good, but the scoring was pretty much the same as everywhere else. So it is interesting, but having that comfort of playing in your own center is huge. I mean, everyone knows that they have a center or two that you can walk into and you just feel comfortable right away, and that you're going to play well. And the center that you play league out of should be one of those for sure.
Nice double there by Carter Stretch. We can chat about him for a bit. He recently played the Autumn Open down in Calgary. Really, really solid tournament of it. Qualified, made the top 40s. Didn't succeed into the top 16, but great weekend there at the Autumn Open and competitive level for Carter Stretch, Dexter.
Yeah, Carter's put in so much work into his game, especially in the last couple of years. I don't know. I think it was just before COVID where he was spending like all the time at Grand Prairie, just there every day, just working on his game. He throws the ball so smooth, so solid. He did a lot of work on himself. He lost a lot of weight. Like he's worked so hard to get where he is, and he's starting to reap the rewards. The Autumn Open was the best example of that for sure. You have 160 of the best bowlers across Canada come to Calgary, and to make the top 40 is an absolute feat. So congratulations to him on doing that. But that's also a product of the work you put in.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? Put in the work, put in the practice, and you'll get rewarded.
100%.
There's some guys, fortunately, don't have to practice as much as they are, but that's very few and far between. You guys, a lot of people, you got to practice, you got to throw balls, you got to be confident in your shot, and these are big shots and big time. I mean, this is the professional 5-pin bowling league in Canada. This is, aside from WCBT or some of the club tour or some of the cash tournament events, this is as high as it gets. And that's the idea of this league, is that this is the pro 5-pin bowling building. So
100%. Yeah, it's and solid start for Jess there with the strike. Miss off to the right, but we were fortunate enough to see her play some of the 8 gamers too, and it was the first time that I've actually got to see Jess play, and I've got to say she is phenomenal. She throws the ball so well. Not surprised they have her put down an anchor, because I feel like she can handle these situations. And when you have a style that doesn't have a ton of moving parts and you're square all the time, you seem to be able to handle the pressure just a little bit better, because your timing doesn't have to be perfect. And she's definitely in that situation. She throws the ball very well. So not the second frame that she wanted, that's for sure, but good strike to start.
So as you're seeing here, folks, is that the first bowler is not going until the 5th bowler is done on the other side. So that's something you can't get ahead of yourself and bowl 2 or 3 frames ahead. You have to wait to move on to the next frame until the other team has done their frame as well. This sort of keeps things in line and in sync. But there is no rule around the 5 players throwing 5 strikes in a row, and you don't have to wait for your opponent across from you to compete.
Right, yeah, we don't have to play a ball by ball, just frame by frame, which is great. At least that keeps the team rhythm for sure. Great start by Corey there. Strike, yes. Spare strike, just keeping everything black. That's what we're looking for out there, that's for sure.
So we're playing for 8 points here in the game. In the standings, obviously, we can show that. The 8 points, so 5 individual matches. We have, so Joanne is basically playing Corey for 1 point. Danielle is playing Carter for a point. So all 5 players are playing each other for a point. And then the team total pinfall is worth 3 points. So that's how we obviously get the 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Way to go, Daryl. It's nice and early in the morning, but just thought I'd help everybody out. So that team total shot is the 3, Dexter, is really big. I think we saw last week we had Victor Fulbert shoot a 368. Your team only won 2 points, but Victor won the total, or Victor didn't win the total. Victor had such a high game that made up the difference to win the team total. So every ball counts. One person's runaway ends up being pretty big. Eight points on the line.
If you're out of a match too, your points still matter big time. I mean, we've seen it all the time in the Open. That 3 points for team total is massive. And if you end up winning all your team totals, you're going to end up making nationals, or in this case, you're going to be making the playoffs. And that team total is more important than anything else. That's for sure.
Yeah. We do have 1 sub available for each team. So the substitution at any point in time, a general manager or a manager can make a substitution, pull a player out and put 1 player in. That player that comes out is not allowed to go back into the lineup, and you only have 1 sub available. We chatted quickly about a female. So part of the rules of the league is that a female has to start a game and finish a game. So with the Holy Rollers, Corey, we know is going to be playing the entire game. The Mighty Plucks, it doesn't matter because there's 3 females, so there's guaranteed, even if they do make a sub, that there'll be 2 other ones that will be playing the full game. Just a bit of the, equalization rules of the league format that obviously we want to get as many females as possible playing, and you can't just go in a lineup and then sub them all out.
I love hearing the intensity out there. You can hear both teams kind of get a little excited out there. That's a huge frame by the Mighty Plucks. A spare followed by 4 strikes, one of which is a double. That's massive. And really, GP answered really well with 3 strikes of their own, one of which is a double, and a spare in there too. So that they're starting to roll, guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, they are getting fired up nice and early. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe they've seen some other matches. And it gets pretty intense right away. This is a big deal now. We're into week 3. You've seen some other competition happen. You want to come out and play and put a good foot forward.
For sure, and it's interesting. You would wonder if that intensity would be there in empty bowling alleys, honestly. But it is there. It does show up. It comes out. It is definitely different because you're not always looking at what the other player is doing all the time. It's more of a focus on like an intensity on your team to just continue to throw the ball well. It's a different dynamic, and I love it.
Yeah, really, just get in with your team. Get in sync. Worry about your own shots. It's a little bit different because there's not as much sportsmanship, call it if you will, of the mind games. Some of the reset buttons or okay, you go ahead first or any of that stuff. It's really just settling into your own team and your own rhythm, and throwing shots and making sure that the next guy up is ready to go.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about just supporting your team and just making sure that you guys are making good shots all the time, putting up points for the team. I'm sure Danielle's not going to be overly happy with that frame. I mean, punching is tough, but
yeah, double
throwing it through the hole after on the double is tough. That's a big loss of points, but still a good start from her with 3 or 4 hits on the middle, and it strikes or punches for her. So it's just got to get it a little bit to the side, and I'm sure that scoring will start coming for her. Good shot by Robert there. I was almost a little surprised to see him in the 3-hole, but I mean, obviously, I don't get to see him play on a daily basis and see what he's been like this season. But Robert is incredibly solid. He is a phenomenal player, and handles situations very well. So I was a little surprised to see him in the 3rd spot, but I mean, every spot is important in this, that's for sure. But we'll see if he comes out with a chip on his shoulder, wanting to show everybody how good he is.
Yeah, tough little miss there for Scott Helka, obviously getting the bonus 2-pin on the chop off, but then coming out and missing. Had a solid start. Little falter there, but not to hurt him too much.
That's another guy who's worked really hard in his game recently too. Lots of practice sessions. He's gone through a pretty big weight loss over the last couple of years too. So it's taken a little bit of work to get back to where he wants to be, but he's been putting in the work, and that's the important part. It will come if you put in the work.
Well, I think just overall, the Northern Alberta men's side, has really gotten stronger. Obviously, some females there too. Don't want to forget about them, but they've really got a cohesiveness. There's a sync going on. There's a competitive circuit up there. I mean, you add in the Dawson Creek, obviously in BC, but they do a Northerns tournament. There's a building competitive crowd of bowlers up in Northern Alberta that have always been there, but somewhat, not quite as competitive. I mean, these guys though, I mean, start adding them up. If they all played into the Opens, there's no reason that they can't compete for a full weekend.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the Northern teams have been really solid for a long time, but the biggest challenge that the Northern teams have faced is a belief that they're not going to beat the Edmonton teams or the Calgary teams or the Central teams. It's just they don't have that belief in themselves, and I'm glad to see. I think that's changing. I think a big change into the whole community was Gerald buying buying the bowling alley up there. He is so good. He's such a positive influence. He wants to make things better for all these guys. He wants to promote them to go to all these major tournaments. And you're starting to see them reap the benefits of that. They're just getting better and better and better. And I really believe that a big part of that is Gerald's part of the community for sure.
Yeah, absolutely it is. We certainly talked to him quite a bit, 5-Pin Universe, even BPG on some shirts and stuff like that, and very involved in his center. He mentioned before about the hours that he's putting in, and through this, the COVID and pandemic and the loss of the business a bit, and in the number of people coming in, that it just forces the owner to step up and to work long hours. And he's been doing, a fantastic job for his community. So good on you, Gerald. Keep it going. The community will support you, and the bowling just continues to get better.
Yeah, and you know what? He managed to do all that while running for mayor.
Yeah, amazing.
It's incredible. There are some people in this life that I just don't know how they find 27 hours in a 24-hour day, and he's one of them. That's for sure. Yeah.
So we got a bit of a solid lead here for the Holy Rollers. The up top spot there, Corey's got a solid advantage, but the doubles at the bottom there for Daryl and Jess are really coming to play big. The top three for the Mighty Plucks aren't off to the start that they wanted. They're obviously looking to have Daryl and Jess continue those doubles to make them run.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Those bottom two are going to be really important shots right now. Jess's last shot was right on the beak too, and it just crumbled.
That's right.
It was a great strike, but it's not like the top three are playing all that bad. It's just missed opportunities in some spots, and Al needs to try to find the side somewhere.
Yeah, Al's got a split, a punch, and a 7 count. So he's on the middle. It's a good start. And there's a Haka headpin there. So it opens up for Daryl and for Scott. So that match will tighten up again too.
For sure. But that's definitely an opportunity they're going to want back on that double for sure. That's an opportunity to make up some of those pins. And we'll see. We'll see what Jess comes out with here, because this shot becomes bigger now for sure, just to try to pull him back into the match.
Yeah, team total, you don't want to get that one skating away. So you look at, end of 5, you're at 583. Dex, can you tell if the strikes are counting on the scoreboard, or are they?
It looks like it is for sure for Grand Prairie.
Oh, there's another one. Exact same shot for Jess.
Yeah, right on the beak.
Right on the beak. Yeah, another one of those. So, okay, so we do have both counters. They're counting the pins, or are they not counting? Do you know? I think they are, because the 45 just added to the Mighty Plucks. We'll have to do some quick math and adding here and figure that out.
Yeah, it is including the marks as well.
So they are both including. Okay, so a little bit of a lead here at halfway mark for the Holy Rollers. We'll take a bit of a break here, pay some bills, and we'll come back in a couple minutes, team.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
Welcome
Alrighty.
back.
Yeah, back at it. So a couple of comments. We were just chatting there before about if the scores aren't adding up quite, and it looks like Timmins may not be adding 15 or something like that. So we'll just kind of look to confirm, but we'll monitor the bottom line there. But regardless, looks like GP's got a bit of a head start. A little bit slower coming out of the gates here for the Mighty Plucks, so we'll look for them to get a bit more aggressive and a bit more energy perhaps in the building over there.
Yeah, apparently that extra 2 hours of sleep didn't help him.
Yeah. So that's a tough break for Corey coming out of a commercial timeout. Had a triple and stopped there. Oh, so it looks like we have a substitution there, obviously in for the Mighty Plucks. So we had as Joanne threw her first ball. Now looks like Eric is in for there. So substitution has been made on the Mighty Pluck side.
There we go. Yeah, the commercial break is something that we're not all really used to at all. I mean, there's sometimes in the open where your team finishes way ahead of the other team, and you have a couple seconds to like chill out and wait for the next one to start. But an actual commercial break, it's a different feeling. It's definitely something to get used to. But that's a hell of a start there for Corey. 177-6, very solid. Ooh, good shot by Danielle there. Just looked pretty flush in the left pocket. Just didn't end up carrying that corner.
But huge thanks to our sponsors. That's why we run the commercial. We've got a lot of great supporting companies and people out there that have supported the initiative of 5-Pin Universe and the Pro Team League. So, biggest thanks to Cargill and Rusted Petal, who are our division sponsors. So big thanks to them. Support Cargill and Rusted Petal as much as you can. And then obviously some other sponsors, Bradson Promotional Group, who does a lot of the jerseys, a lot of the graphic design, some of the back end stuff there. And Schwartz Home Building Centers out of Stettler. Schwartz is in? No, Stettler, yeah. He's in. Yeah, Stettler. So down where the Heartland Kingpins are, support Sean Schwartz and the home building centers there as much as possible, and JB, obviously on the technical IT software development side, is a great supporter of 5-Pin Bowling as well. So thanks everybody for sponsoring. If you're interested in being a sponsor, get a hold of us. You know where to, 5pinuniverse.ca. Carrie Kreitz, happy to have that conversation with you. Lots of opportunity here and awareness across the country in that, and sponsorship opportunities even just within your own region. So if you're bowling, we can do a highlight package for a sponsor within Timmins or within Thunder Bay or within Grand Prairie that might want to get some advertising out there. So
absolutely.
Thanks to all.
So we have our second poll there. They pulled the Holy Rollers pulled Robert Tompkins and put in his brother Sean Tompkins. So that's always a great feeling as a brother.
Yeah, right. Come in and take over. I got you, bro. I got you.
That's right. Absolutely. So both polls have been made. So this will be the lineup that they run with now for the rest of the game.
Probably deserved polls, right, Dex? I mean, it wasn't. Mighty Plucks probably need to make one. They were a little bit slower in the top three, and that was the obvious one for the Holy Rollers too. Obviously, you want to see if Robert can get rolling, but a couple of misses. It's sort of time. You, as a coach or a manager, you got to make the pull and be convinced to it, right? For
sure, and yeah, exactly. I mean, Robert isn't as sharp as we're used to seeing with him. But with that being said, Al has got 98-5 with a strike at 6. That match is very much up for grabs. So if you're not sure that Robert, especially when he's kind of all over the place right now, if you're not confident in him coming back and finding his rhythm to try to steal that match, then it's time to switch somebody else in there and hope that they catch fire.
I've been pretty impressed here with Danny Stewart. Dex, do you know much about Danny? I don't. I can't say I do a lot of.
No, I don't. I don't know a lot about Danny. I've seen his name around quite a bit, but I don't know if I've ever met him. Throws the ball well. Obviously, he's a good shooter. They have a lot of confidence in him, throwing him down into the anchor position. So,
yeah.
And there's some great players on that team. So for him to be playing in that position shows a lot about how good of a player he must be. So, and he's showing it.
Yeah, that's good. A nice bounce back strike there for Joanne. So maybe a little comfort or knowing that there's no pull coming. Keep throwing the ball. Trust your shot. Actually, no, sorry, that was Eric who shot that. So ha on me. But Eric as a sub to come in, then conversely is that come in, throw a strike, see if we can bring some energy to the team and keep it rolling.
Absolutely. I have to say, Daryl, again, a big shout out for your logos by BPG for all the teams and the shirts. They look fantastic. I really love the Holy Roller shirts. I love their logo, but I think out of every team, I think the Mighty Plucks is hands down my favorite. I love the color schemes. I'm a big orange guy, but I love the logo. I loved everything about the Mighty Ducks. The whole logo, everything about it looks so sharp. I love it. They look great, man.
Yeah, thanks, Dex. Obviously, we're fortunate, Bradson Promotional Group. We make, cut all the custom shirts for everybody. Been in our business for a number of years, making the bowling shirts for everybody across the country. Our guy Mark Johnstone, a lot of people know, he enjoys his first couple of hours most mornings working on these designs, fine tuning them, customizing for individuals. You can get pretty creative, and obviously anything you can do. And then on the other side is our graphic designer. We have an in-house graphic designer who takes the time and created all these logos. It wasn't something done overnight. Obviously, there's 12 logos, takes a lot of time. A lot of concepts, working with the individual teams about what their design was, and then really bringing it to fruition. So very happy with the team at BPG. So good work on them and what they do to help with the design and the sport for this. So thanks, Dex.
Absolutely, they look fantastic. Another good shot there by Daryl. That's another big double coming up. Every time he's hit the middle, it's been a strike so far.
Yeah.
So that's big. You just got to keep that confidence and just keep pounding the middle and expect them to fall.
Too bad for Hauka here. I really liked his shot. He's thrown a really solid ball and form, nice and aggressive, just right on the beak here for the last 4 of them. That's not the best, but definitely very steady and solid up the line. So Hauka, take a bit of comfort in that. Keep working, man. It's going to come there for you.
Interesting 10 count from Jess. Try to send it across too. Good pins by Scott. And let's see if Danny can capitalize on that double or that strike there.
Yeah, it will keep pushing the margin there, the 100 pins, and being able to get it out. Yeah, he's got a great style shot, right? Just gets it out in the lane. Nice pace to it. Getting out in the right spot. So well done, Danny.
And he knows right away too. The second he lets that ball go, he knows if that's a strike or not. So
it's a pretty straight ball, right? There's not a lot of movement. There's definitely fingers there, but it's not movement per se.
Absolutely. Well, looks like we lost the scoreboard for a second here for the Mighty Plex. So
it's a good thing we got our
technical wizard in the background.
Yeah,
well,
technical whiz. Tough punch there for Eric as he comes in. Well done, Kerry. Got it back.
Super quick.
That's a big double for Corey now, right? Coming back, punches obviously in 7, strike here, or punched in 6, strike in 7-8.
She's playing great. She's played so many opens and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
And you know what? The big thing is, you start off with a spare, and then you throw a turkey. You're feeling good, and then you have that punch. But I mean, you're rolling already, so don't tighten up. Don't try to change anything. Just keep going back to the same shot that you had before, and she did, and she's rewarded with a double.
I see that Sean and Robert don't go to the same barber, so
accurate. They do throw the ball very similar though, eh? That really low follow through, drop that shoulder quite a bit to get it into the middle there, but it's a better shot for him. This is a big spare for him to try to stay into this match or make up some ground into this match, maybe.
Yeah, you got it.
Makes it clean. Good
yeah,
shot.
him and Al's, but again, Al's similar to Scott Hauka there, right? He's been definitely on the middle, except for the second frame, a little bit of a loose 3-pin, but he did spare that out, funny enough. But, Al's been on the beak for most of the game here. See if we can get himself on the side of that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's been Very accurate, but too accurate. Has to find a way to get it to the side there. And the pulls have been made, so he's in there for the duration. So
Yeah, tough going here for Danielle. Hasn't been the game, but she's still in it. Got a 90 count sitting up there for 231. That might be enough.
that's
And
a
there's
great
Al.
shot by Al.
Yeah. So Al's definitely in his match. Al and now Sean Tompkins are definitely in their match. It's going to be a tight one.
Honestly, I think the only difference with that shot with Al is that, he has that really short, reduced backswing, and that one looked like he took just a little bit more, and it came out of his hand a little bit more natural, and there was a ton of rotation when that thing hit the middle, that's for sure. Daryl with the turkey.
That's a big turkey.
It's huge.
In the 4-hole. That is triple.
That's a big swing
count.
with Danny punching and Daryl throwing the turkey. That keeps the Mighty Plucks alive. They're gonna have to run through 9 and 10 here really quickly, but that turkey is massive at the moment. Ooh, just follows up with it went to that went. Wow.
I think that's 3 of them. 3 of them for her there.
And she watched that to the end too. She knew that might be going.
All right, here goes Corey. You want to set up the 9th frame on a double. Big shot for her.
Looks good.
Looked really good. Well done.
A strike by Eric there. Good answer.
Yeah, he's come in and thrown some good ones.
Yep. And again, just trying to get his feet wet and throw some good shots and potentially get ready for the next game too, right?
Yeah, I would think that likelihood that he's in for the next game.
Good shot by Carter. A little high on the right-hand side there, but well executed.
Yeah, had some fingers on it. Looked like it squeezed and got a couple of bonus pins for him, didn't it?
Absolutely. Danielle looks frustrated.
Yeah, it's obviously not the way that she wanted to come and play this game, and got a little loose on her first shots. Missed a couple of times.
Carter missed the spare, but picks up the 15. Honestly, no harm, no foul on that.
Yeah,
as Danielle missed her spare too.
Yeah, and Danielle's got a max 197, so Carter looking in control of winning that match, unless maybe there's a foul or something over the line, Dexter, that you might know about. Tough punch there for Al, so he definitely would have wanted to double there to put some big pressure on. Probably didn't see Robert through the 3-pin, but he definitely might be Logan. And then Robert comes and spares that back.
So that's a massive spare. I'm sure he's going to be upset about ripping a 3-pin and not really counting a whole lot on his spare, but certainly gives himself an opportunity to come back and potentially steal.
I made a quick joke there, Dexter, about a foul. So the joke is that obviously you threw a 403 a couple of weeks ago, and then came back, but you had a foul, so you stuck and you fell over the foul line, so you only actually had a 388. But then, oddly enough, a week later, you threw a 403 again, just to sort of say, see, I can do it.
Yeah. Honestly, 4 days later, or 3 days later, whatever it was, pretty funny. Life is funny, and sometimes things just work out. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I certainly think that's a great spot there for Danny Stewart. He's held his own for sure in the anchor and gets out there and rips away.
And he looks very comfortable being there.
Yeah.
And that's really all you're asking for.
Yeah, just have trust in a guy that's going to make the shot when you need to.
Mighty Plucks look like they're tightening up. They've missed a few corner spares in there. The punches kind of come with tightening up too. Might have to go visit the bar.
Yeah,
But between the next game, just to loosen up just a touch.
They do have potential for a couple of points up there.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the thing in this format. You want to get as many points as you can because it's a short season. There's not a lot of games. You need the points. So individually, if you can take 2 points, that's obviously a 6-2. It's not the worst. It's a lot better than an 8-0. So there's a couple of them still left to finish off here.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And in an 8-game season, you could afford a loss or two,
And that's a big double there from Jess.
Yes,
especially
absolutely.
in the anchor hole, to have a double 8-9. Now you're looking at your 135. We played our What's My Score, and that's a big opportunity there.
Right. So now she has the opportunity to bang out for 309, and Danny has the opportunity to bang out for 311. So that match is like ball for ball right now. So she has the opportunity to steal that match back after he's played fantastic.
And here's Corey really running away with this match, looking at a possible 357, which is massive.
For sure. She is definitely the difference maker in the team totals here for sure. Potential 357 up there for her.
Oh, got away from herself a little bit. She probably knew that we were talking about her. As if that we have that effect on people.
Yeah. Well, pick up your spare, finish with a 332. That's a fantastic game.
Yeah. Well done.
Well done. Great game. All right, well, hopefully Danielle just uses this frame to try to find a rhythm. Work on a few small little things and try to find a way to feel comfortable up there. But yeah, I don't know her style all that well. It just looks like she might be pulling up just a little, and that happens when you're struggling and you want to see what you're going to get for a result. So.
So Carter looks like he'll obviously win this match here. So we're going 2-0 for the Holy Rollers. Good start for them.
And this is where the matches get interesting, because all of the bottom three are all semi up for grabs. I mean, Scott can bang out for 263, so Daryl definitely needs to throw a mark in there. But Robert has a chance to steal a match back. Danny has Sean. Holy cow. Sean has a chance to steal this match back too.
Big strike there for Al. Went first. Probably not watching what the other guy's doing up there. But a big strike for Sean. Yeah.
So now it's a 3-point game with 2 balls to go.
Looks like Sean's going to get up and go first. They obviously don't know who's the pace of play for the other one. Big strike for Sean.
What happens here?
Looks like you got to push
answer by Al.
That right corner seems to push a little bit, doesn't it? It's got some wobble to it.
You didn't see that stick in the back?
Yeah, exactly. It gone down a couple times for Jess, so they got to keep fixing the score. So Sean looking to finish it off. So he'll need a chop off. So Al will need a chop off to at least tie. Pocket shot with a corner will win the match. Oh, it's not going to get it, Al.
Wow.
That's too bad, Al. You had a good finish there, bud.
Struggle of a game for Al. I mean, he threw a ton of strikes and a ton of punches, and that's just the most frustrating style of game to play, that's for sure. But, good on Sean for coming in and stealing that match back. That makes Gerald look good.
Yeah, for sure. It was the right time for a move, and definitely think Sean probably had the more of the aggressive shot and was more accurate on there. So right move for sure. And tough finish for Halka, but man, again, he was just on the beak all game, so might look to maybe make a small adjustment to find the side of the head pin. But threw a good ball. But what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 head pins and a chop. So
yeah, exactly.
But threw the ball well. Didn't miss any middles.
Yeah.
Just beaky.
Super accurate. Wasn't missing what he was aiming at. But, that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes.
A solid game for Daryl Gauthier. 259 gets a point for his team.
So Jess has a chance to steal a match here too. And that's gonna slow that right down, unfortunately. So this is looking like it's going to be a 7-1 split.
A 7-1, yeah.
Looks like they must get some good kickbacks at Timmins because they are trying to spare splits and stuff as well.
GP Holy Rollers, we're going to look to bring in Corey as well with you, Gerald, as we talk. So, Gerald, if anybody's listening at Grand Prairie Holy Rollers, we'd like to bring in Corey. Al, we'll just chat with yourself from the Mighty Plucks, if that's okay. But as we wrap things up there, Jess with a 255, not winning her match. Danny Stewart with a solid win of the 281. So 1253, you end up at the 1250 mark. Any way we look at it, it's a 250 average. And then I don't see the total score there for the Mighty Plucks, but obviously not quite at that 1250 where they would have been losing. So 7-1 victory for the Holy Rollers over the Mighty Plucks. Let's see if we can bring in our guest, Holy Rollers. Gerald, we're going to look to see if Corey's available to come in along with you. So if you can find Corey, that would be great to bring her on. And there she is first. But let's first bring in Al and chat with him. Al, how you doing, bud?
Yeah.
That's
that was exciting, eh?
Yeah, not really the way you wanted to probably start the match off, but a little slower start for the team, but seeing some opportunity for improvement coming up.
Well, it can't get any worse, I don't think. So, definitely room for improvement. We just went on we really played by our team name, by the Mighty Plucks, and kept plucking headpins all game. I think I had 5 or 6. Joanne and Eric had like 5, whatever. But we got to make those adjustments, right? It's only a 1-game match. You got to make those adjustments. And obviously we didn't do them or whatever. Unfortunately, it is what it is, I guess. But can't get any worse than that. So hopefully it's a reality check for everybody. Obviously, I knew if I struck out for my point, I think I had shut him out. But I didn't know what he was doing, whatever. So I was going for the strikeout, and I plucked again, and whatever 12 there. And we knew Daryl was good, and then Jess had a chance for her point 2, I guess, to bag out, or would have made it closer anyways. So it could have been a 5-3 split pretty quick. Danielle had a chance, I think, in her last 3 frames as well. It was about a 20-pin game, I think. So, it just kind of fell off the rails a little bit towards the end. In 9, we didn't really set it up for 10. We only had 2 strikes. So whatever, it's on us. A lot of learning experience, I guess, for everybody. Hopefully everybody got the jitters out of the way, and we'll come out strong against apparently our arch nemesis or arch rivals in Thunder Bay the next game. So
hey, we're trying to build some rivalry here, buddy.
Yeah, I hate those guys, man. My God, can't stand them.
We'll set up all them. We'll set up all them in a bit. But I mean that was a tougher one for you, obviously, Al. So
yeah, we'll definitely bowl better. It's
it's
I'm not too concerned about it. I think everybody, it's one of those cliches, we were there kind of thing, but we got to make those adjustments. And I hope everybody will make those adjustments for the second game. And then we can come out with a 1-1 record out of this, hopefully. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all good. We'll let you go do your thing for a few minutes, and we'll bring you back in a couple minutes as we set up the next match. So we'll let you go. You got a couple. Come on back in a bit, and then we'll set up the next match. So thanks, Al. Best of luck next match. We'll chat with you in a bit. Corey, let's bring in Corey now from the GP Holy Rollers.
Hey, Corey.
Hello.
Great game. Awesome bowling.
Thanks.
Fantastic. That was you put a lot of pressure on that team for right at the top right away. And that's huge in the starting position for sure. You go out there, you shoot 332, And then, you're facing somebody who's struggling up top. All of a sudden, you're putting pressure on everybody else on that lineup just to try to cover up that differential. So, great game, fantastic. You looked super comfortable. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, is that what sort of the game plan for you, Corey, is just to come out and throw great shots? What were your expectations going in, and how did things go for you for that game?
Things went really good. I just went out and bowled just like I normally would in any night of league, is just go out and throw my ball and do the best I could.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, like we said, a 332 is a big difference. We talk about that, even, helping the team up on huge points, the differential between you and your match. So, yeah, a lot of good things happening there on that match. Good for the Holy Rollers to get a victory out of the way. That's what you're coming out looking for. First match, 7-1. Obviously, you're now sitting back. You'll wait a little bit, watch the two Northern Ontario teams go at it. They're the best of friends go at it here for a bit, but then you guys will be back at it in an hour. So that's a great start, Corey. Good job, and we'll chat with you in the next game.
You bet. Thanks, guys.
All right, Gerald, let's chat with you quickly. Gerald here.
You can't do quickly with me, you guys. I always like to talk.
All right. Well, what do you think, man? There's the first game for the Holy Rollers. Great start for the team. 7-1, win.
That was amazing. That was a lot of fun. I had butterflies, just like I do when I go to the Open. So I mean, we don't have a lot of national experience here, like a lot of those guys down there have, right? So these guys, they bowl from their gut, and the gals, obviously. I put Corey lead off for a reason, and she definitely proved herself. So
100%.
Yeah, 100%. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
You know what, Danny and the anchor too. We had mentioned that we don't know a lot about Danny. So can you share us a bit about info about Danny? And obviously looked very comfortable in the anchor spot.
I've coached Danny a lot we have our own version of the provincials out here, though, the intercity with Dawson Creek and those other centers. And anytime I've coached Danny, I've always put him anchor. He just comes through all the time. I mean, yeah, sometimes you have bad luck, right? That's just the way it goes. But his mental when he's bowling anchor is amazing. So that's exactly why I put him there. So.
Yeah, he looked very comfortable. He looked very well suited for that position. It doesn't look like a whole lot rattles him at all. So he looked very confident. It was awesome.
It was his wife in the background was rattling him a bit, but he let that go after a while.
Nah, I mean that's how you want to start. You want to go. You want to win your first match, whatever way it looks, and getting a 7-1 is huge. So
that was a 7-1. I didn't see the end. I was just jacked about the whole thing. So that's exciting. That's exciting.
7-1, but good job. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Joe.
One quick. Who lost their point?
Scott Hauka?
Yeah, it would have been Hawkeye. Yeah.
But
just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But Hauka, but we mentioned. I mean, he was 10 for 10. I mean, I think he was.
He hit well.
Threw a great shot. Just needs to find the line off the side of the middle, and I think he'll be there for you. But I mean, no complaints about the way he shot. It was just too beaky for him.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay. Good pull. Good pull of Robert.
Yeah.
Good pull and roll.
Yeah. That was really good. I mean, Sean looked shaky to start, but man, he looked confident in the 10th frame. He didn't wait around, and he knew those.
He did exactly what he had to do.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll let you go now, Gerald. We'll see you in an hour. We'll queue up that. We'll run our commercial here, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes, everybody, to tee up our next match.
Thanks, everything. Thanks for.
At Cargill, we have numerous brands and varieties of canola seed to meet any producer's needs. We look forward to helping you create a plan for your 2022 crop. Please contact your local crop input sales rep for any of your canola seed needs. Thank you and enjoy the bowling.
All right. Good morning, everybody. For some of you, it's now afternoon that are listening in central Canada, right? That's where Northern Ontario is. It's central. They're not on the east. We've learned that many times. Yeah. But welcome. Here we are, 5-Pin Universe Team Pro League 5PL. I'm Daryl Bradley. We've got Dexter Wiseman with us commentating today. Great first match already, guys. We've already had the GP Holy Rollers win 7-1 over the Timmins Mighty Plucks. Now we've got a big match between the T-Bay Bowling Club and the Timmins Mighty Plucks, a couple of Northern Ontario rivalries. We're going to build this up as much as we can. Dex, initial first thoughts of this match going before we play.
I mean, there's a lot at play here at the moment. I mean, the Mighty Plucks just had a match where they obviously struggled, and they're not going to be happy with the result that they had. So they're going to be excited to get back out there, and they're going to be wanting to, play much better than they did. They're going to be motivated. You never really want to face somebody after a loss like that because they're going to come out firing. But those TBA guys, that is a fantastic team. You have Taylor Michelle, you have Dan, you have Greg DeGrazia, Alyssa Bonnie, like their team is stacked to the nines. It's going to be a great match. I think we'll see how Greg's emotions are.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be a great match, and I think there's going to be some high scoring.
Yeah, I agree totally. Let's bring in the managers here. So let's bring in Al Paquette, Taylor Michelle coming in as well. We'll get them in. How you doing, guys? Taylor, first time we get to see you today. How are things going in Central Canada?
Going pretty good. Can't complain. We're allowed to do stuff again, so have some beers, do some bowling.
Yeah, is everybody excited to play here this morning? Obviously, you guys are both now at noon. The morning jitters and stuff is out of the way. You're into your warm up. You're ready to get going. Everybody's feeling okay about their games. Any issues we should know about?
No, I was feeling great. Johnny went up to get a cup of coffee, came back with a pitcher of beer, so off we go.
Let's do it. Al, how about you guys? Now, obviously, this coming off a bit of a tougher match. Spirits are good. That match is behind you. We're going to move on and have a shot of Fireball and get things going, or what?
No, yeah, I think all the jitter are out of the way now, hopefully anyways. I don't know if people were tightening up, and hence the plucking train, I guess, for the whole freaking team. But you know what? We'll make the adjustments, and we switched up the lineup a little bit, so hopefully it'll rejuvenate us for this second match against our arch rivals in Thunder Bay.
So tell us about your lineup that you got then, Al, for this game.
I'll be bowling leadoff with Eric second, Joanne third, Daryl fourth, and Jess fifth, and then Danielle will be on the bench to start.
Hey. Yeah, so a bit of a change up. Good call on yourself. I mean, you thought we saw you play a good game last one. You're all over the middle, so I think that's a good move for you to go up front and be the leadoff and get the team rolling. Good on you. How about you, Taylor? What's the lineup looking like for you guys?
We got Sam up top, J-Dubs 2 spot, Alyssa 3, Wes 4, Greg 5, and Dan's on the bench.
So as a manager, you're not going to play the first match, is obviously what we see. So you're on the roster, but the seventh player will just sort of take a break and get the team going.
He's too scared to bowl us. That's all.
I gotta make sure all the cameras work. That's my job. Make sure all the shit works. Once we're working, I'll be hitting the beer, and I'm in the next match.
Good stuff.
Our IT specialist over there. Interesting that you have Dan on the bench. That almost surprises me a little.
He likes to come out and just huck bombs. He's probably the closest to my style of form, where we just stand in the middle and rip it up the gut. So not a lot going on upstairs. So that's the kind of guy I like coming off the bench. Just go in there and just smash the middle.
Yeah, that's a good call. He's a hell of a player. That's a great guy to come off the bench. You're gonna have confidence in him for sure. So that's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff, boys. Let's get this game going. We don't need to chirp away too much unless you want to throw a couple of chirps at each other. Taylor, I'm sure you've been waiting to throw a chirp at Al. So
we got the post game, so I'm gonna take some notes and I'll see if the team's got any to throw in. there. I have a list for you after the match.
You know,
Sounds like he's being pretty nice.
We don't hate each other as much as you guys might want to build it up, but you know, it is what it is. I'm sure we'll have a good match, and maybe watch the camera for some little fist bumps or some taunting mid game or something.
Yeah. Okay, boys, go get him.
Yeah,
Good luck.
eye contact.
Eyes on you, buddy.
Good. So just before we get going, we'll cue up the lineups of the two teams before we throw a ball. So here we go on the Mighty Plucks side. So we got Al Paquette, Daryl Gauthier, Eric Dion, Jess Levine, Danielle Bertrand, and Joanne Sevigny with manager Al Paquette. And then on the T-Bay Bowling Club side, Greg DeGrazia, Dan Taylor, Wes Swallock, Sam Satar, John Wilcott, Taylor Michelle, Alyssa Bonney, and manager pulling double duties is Taylor Michelle as well.
That's a fantastic lineup.
It is. You know, tough on Al too. We missed the first one, the Plucks on the first one. Not what he wants to do, but he'll be fine. At least he's on the middle there.
They're going to petition for a name change before the next match.
So it looks like they're bowling on the end lane. Would that be lane 16 there at Thunder Bay? Whatever number it is. Oh, something happened. Shield came down. I think we're going to get lucky on doing a redo there.
Yeah, that's a dead ball, so they will get to replay that.
Looks like it was a solid left 3-pin too. You're right. So this is a big lineup here from the T-Bay Bowling Club. I think everybody looks at the rosters across the country and sort of recognizes that this is a pretty strong one. You know, we've got to start off with the guy like Greg DeGrazia, Dexter being an anchor bowler in this match, but he's obviously one of the top ranked in Canada.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and Alyssa Bonney has been to a ton of nationals and out to a lot of the cash tournaments. Wes is, you know, he's phenomenal. Wes has been so good since I was in youths. We just haven't been able to see him a lot. He doesn't play Masters. He only plays the Open and stuff like that too. So he doesn't come up to the cash tournaments. The only time you really ever get to see Wes is if you get to see him at an Open Nationals. But he is an incredible player. Taylor Michelle is obviously really good, unless I'm facing him. You know, that team is loaded from top to bottom. Apparently, they are better at bowling than score corrections, though.
Yeah. Let's know how to work a computer.
That's right.
Isn't that the same as you? You can't just do a remove ball?
I don't know. That's a different system. I'm not sure what system that is.
But there's no rules against. We started the match, and Mighty Plucks, we said give the green light, so they're going to get ahead of frame, and that's 100% fine. So.
Yeah, I think that's Cubica there. But if they're a Galaxy, that means they just recently changed the scoring system because it was Pro Score up until 2019. Apparently, there was a score correction for the Mighty Plucks 2. Daryl's corner fell over. I unfortunately was too distracted paying attention to.
Yeah, it did. So we've seen that a few times. Push over that right corner is a bit of a late faller, but it definitely is going down. But it's you're having to make a couple of adjustments there. And John Wilcott there, see, he's very active, chatting with us on podcasts often and good comments. So liking the feedback. Good to see some of these guys that we see on podcasts or on the show now out there bowling, right? This is what we talked about before in the first match dectors. You give an opportunity to a lot of these players who maybe wouldn't necessarily go to cash tournaments or, you know, opens or nationals, but this format and the 8-gamer, we've now get to see a lot of different people that are very good bowlers across the country.
100%. People that deserve to have their names known. You just don't get to hear them often because they're not always at everything. So love giving that exposure out there. Great start by the Mighty Plucks. Al obviously punched in the first frame and didn't clean up all his pins, but after that, his team really picked him up behind him with 4 solid marks. So good start by those guys. Wes, it looks like that right corner really wanted to go, but just hung on there. Ooh. And the Sleeping Giants first open.
So, of course, we make fun of a little bit of the rivalry between Thunder Bay and Timmins, but it's more just because they're both from Northern Ontario. They play a lot together in the Opens or in the Masters or some of these events, and they're obviously friends just like we are, the Bombers and the Dream Crushers and the Next Gen and all the guys in the Edmonton community. So we make light of it, try to build up a bit of a rivalry here, but at the end of the day, we're all friends.
Yep, we're all friends, but we still want to beat each other. And the trash talk is way easier with friends.
Yeah.
Good half by Greg there. It's almost a decent strategy there by the T-Bay Bowling Club. You know, make the Mighty Plucks wait after going with 4 straight marks there.
See if Al can get off the side of the punch. Gets a push. Does he get the right corner to push? He did get the right corner to push again. Yeah.
You just see pins just bouncing all over out the back, eh? It's crazy. Awesome.
Now, Timmins, where the Mighty Plucks are playing, I'm assuming this is where the Timmins tournament is, right? There's a Timmins Invitational tournament in February, where there's a big event typically happening there. That I know a lot of the Easterners or Central Canada come and play at that event. It's a big one for that region.
From my understanding, Greg DeGrazia from the T-Bay Bowling Club just absolutely owns that tournament.
Oh, the Timmins, is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, his ball just crushes everything out there, apparently. Mitch says it's not even fair.
With Greg throwing his ball there. That's what she's saying.
Yeah. Just crushes everything.
Oh, almost had a 3-pin spare there.
That's a hard spare. That's a hard spare to miss when you put that ball or pin side too, and you end up blowing through and missing that corner. That chaps you a little. Good shot by Joanne for a double up there, early double, putting some pressure on Alyssa right away.
You know, we talk about Taylor being putting himself on the bench to start with. You know, that's a solid manager move to do that, just to make sure that all the other players get into the game and get playing. You know, to have himself say, doesn't need to necessarily go play. You got to have trust in all of your teammates and players that they can go and shoot the ball just as well as you can.
100%. He's definitely matured a lot since he's had a child. Mitch confirming in the comments that it's not fair the way Greg's ball works at Timmins.
He gets an extra quarter of the head pin to play with.
Yeah, the front one.
Yeah.
All right, West trying to recover from his corner miss. That's a good shot.
That's a good shot. Isn't there a comment about miss a corner, run a 7-bagger?
Yeah, that Gino's famous saying. All right, just getting a little bit quick up there.
Yeah, it did look a little quick. A couple first misses, obviously. I'm going to change that up, and a miss there back at you from Greg. That would have been a better one.
Yeah, good second shot there.
So reminder, everybody, we're playing for 8 points here in this game. So each individual match is worth 1 point, and the team total is worth 3. So obviously Sam playing Al for a point, John playing Eric for a point, and so forth. You know, everybody's individual points, and then team total. That team total is so vitally important. We've seen it before where somebody might have a runaway game with a 350, 380, and that's a lot of points, bonus points for a team when somebody can run away with that, right? That's it's hard to make up, but every point matters. Every match matters. 8 points on the line is huge.
Absolutely.
And nice solid strike there by Sam.
Good shot by John there.
Yeah, definitely what he wants to do after missing the going a 3-pin hole.
Eric struggling to find the middle there a little bit. Came in off the bench for the last match for Dan. Who did he come off the bench for?
Eric came in
Joanne?
for Joanne last game. Yeah,
Right. And he came off the
in,
bench
he played
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Threw some had some strikes. And Joanne has started the game here nice too with the double. So
Yeah, if she throws this next strike, she's got a really quick early advantage over Alyssa, that's for sure.
that miss pluck is always tough, isn't it, Dex? When you miss the middle and you want to come back, just throw your strike shot and then you pluck headpin. It's like So.
Yeah, 100%. And missing the middle is a mistake, and you see a lot of people try to make some changes to make sure that they don't miss again to the same side. And while I completely understand that sentiment, trying to push the ball to the other side, use your results in a punch if you're shooting at the middle on your first ball, and it's going to be the same result on the second shot. So you made a mistake. To me, you made a mistake. Just go out there and throw the same good shot that you were used to before, and hope for the best. Good chop off spare by Joanne.
Yeah, good cover there. Looked like West got a little bit roasted on that first ball. Would have been nice for him to get the double, but now he comes back and misses that right corner spare. So that's something that he'll need to clean up a little bit going forward.
Yeah, he's 0 for 3 on that right corner. 0 for 4. That's not something you're going to see a lot from West, that's for sure. So I'm sure he'll be looking to clean that up.
I think you can hear my beeping of my. Can we hear that? My cell phone. I'm getting a few texts, so I've got the beeping, and I don't know how to turn that off, so I'm not going to play around with it. just sound effects in the background, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Great shot by Greg there.
How cool is this, though, Dex? Sunday morning bowling. Obviously, the schedule for the year isn't going to be every single weekend because there's WCBT events, there's open events, there's scheduling conflicts. But overall, though, speak to how awesome it is to have live 5-pin bowling on Sunday mornings.
Oh yeah, man! I remember growing up as a kid, like every on the weekends, wake up in the morning and go watch the TSNs or the CBCs or stuff like that on TV, and it just gets you going for the day. I mean, who needs cartoons when you can have bowling?
Yeah.
I love it. It's just a great way of pulling the whole. It's a great way of pulling the whole bowling community together at a singular time in the mornings, just to get the day started. So it's awesome. I love it.
And that's something that we want to build, right? As scheduling conflicts get corrected, we'll give lots of advance notice for next matches. Like I said, they're not on every Sunday, but they're frequent enough that people should be looking for some 5-pin bowling Sunday mornings. We gotta get the word out there to all the YBC and all the Bowl Canada proprietors and all the the groups or the kids, and make sure that they're tuning in Sunday mornings to watch, even if it's for half an hour or for an hour. We can see our viewership numbers where we usually hover somewhere around the 50 to 60 mark. A lot of people, of course, that's live. A lot of people too will come back and watch, after the fact. But yeah, let's continue to promote 5-pin bowling Sunday morning, and people will hopefully follow in.
Yeah, 100%.
There's
love
lots of
seeing it.
streaming devices or whatever you can do. That's the more support, the better. So thanks for those that are watching now. Stay with us, and we'll keep bringing some live action towards you.
Yeah, I just love everybody getting together, and it's neat having everybody watch simultaneously together as a community. It's just fun.
That one really got away a bit from Eric with the corner pin there.
I'm wondering if they're... Oh, no, not yet.
No.
He disappeared off the screen. I wondered if they were making a move. But
yeah, so their bench player would be Danielle from the first match, right? So there's a solid spare, Eric. Try to work with that, bud. Get yourself moving.
Yeah, just remember that shot.
Tight
Don't
match.
Try too hard on the first shot.
Yeah, tight match overall here. Nobody's really blowing away with anything. All matches sort of within reach. Obviously, the top one's got a little bit of separation with Sam over Al, but
yeah, but then Joanne over Alyssa too, so kind of balances out for sure.
So here's Alyssa going for her ball and 4. This is a
That's
big
a great
strike.
shot.
Yeah, big strike back and 4. Maybe living up to their names as the Sleeping Giants, that they'll sort of
lull you to sleep at the start.
Yeah, slow start and then come back to really take off on things.
Decent strategy. Do you find that corner spares are a lot harder in the team atmosphere?
Good question. I think, honestly, personally, corner spares are hard anytime. But, I think that the pressure is there and the margin of error is a lot smaller when you're playing in a team. You really want to make that for your team. And once you miss it, you sort of let that self-doubt kind of go in. You don't want to let a team down, right? So,
yeah, I find the team atmosphere. You definitely just never want to let down your team, and a corner spare should be amongst the easiest things to do in the game.
Yeah.
And so then you put that extra added pressure on yourself just to not miss it because you should pick it 95% of the time. And
yeah, I guess that's a question, Dex, is what do you think that the percentage of corner pin spare rate is amongst the high-end
great
bowlers?
shot by Jess.
Right? Are we talking 95%? I mean, that's a pretty high percentage. Are we talking 90, 85? I mean, we're talking free throws in basketball, guys making their free throws, right? That's got to be the highest in the league is at 91%. Right?
Yeah, I'm going to say in around that 85% mark, I think is between 80 and 85%. Leaning more towards 85%, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that I know, Carrie and the WCBT team is looking at, is compiling stats for some of these tournaments, right? And really going through every single frame and compiling it. It's a lot of work to put that in, right? Or into some spreadsheet. So we can start to analyze all those stats. Hit percentage, strike percentage,
absolutely,
corner pin spare rate, miss spare rate, all of these things. I mean, you can't get detailed as far as what pocket you're shooting at, but we can definitely get into details as far as what the strike percentage and spare percentage are, so we can have these stats. And then it gives a benchmark for people to try to get to, doesn't it?
100%. Absolutely. The things to work on. The one thing that I will say that I've said in a few other podcasts as well is that if you are going to be keeping stats on yourself, please use them. Don't just keep stats for the sake of having stats. If you have stats, use them to create functional goals down the road. Don't just keep stats to be like, hey, I'm 50% on my left corner and, I'm struggling on those, and then not go in and work on them because you're just furthering the fact that you're struggling on them. If you are keeping stats, use them productively, go in, and then start working on picking on your spares and your chop-offs and stuff like that and increase those stats.
Yeah, there's definitely a few people out there that use the stats and keep track of them. And the frequency of us bowling and the amount of work that it takes to keep those stats is pretty high. Obviously, it's a lot of work. But you're right. Good point on if you're going to take all those stats, know what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
Right. You know, work on things that are relevant to your stat package.
Ooh. Chop off for Alyssa. A little high on the right-hand side. I think that's a pretty good result. Good shot by Joanne, too, and gets tapped on the left corner.
So that match number 2 is pretty much all square with an 87 to 85.
Good half by
There.
Alyssa.
Good half by Alyssa. She can claw her way back into this match. See what happens here with this spare.
Good for Joanne to come back and play super solid after struggling a little bit the first match. So that's awesome to see.
That's a tough.
Good resilience.
Couple of corner misses there too. Like you talk about here, those corners become so important, don't they?
And yeah, they have, and we've seen a lot of those misses already. You know, I mean, Wes has missed 2 corner spares. John has missed a corner spare.
Yeah.
Joanne's missed a couple corners.
Do you think nerves play into that too a little bit, or is it just sharpness on making corners?
For sure, it's definitely a nerves thing for sure. But again, I think that's more of a nerves. The nerves of just being part of a team, you know.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these players haven't necessarily played part of a team in this format because we didn't have the Open last year, we didn't have the Masters last year, so that's this format people haven't played yet. It's been 18 months or 2 years. There's the right corner. We heard in the background there some people cheering, so maybe they've got the live stream going and they hear us chirping to them about the corner pins. Yay, Greg made the corner pin spare. Yeah. Interesting. Mitch makes comment about the detailed stat sheets. I could see him actually analyzing that to great depth about his game. Predictability of throwing, triples and 4 or 5 baggers and the amount of pins left on that. It's a lot of information, so it'd be nice someday to find out what does he do with all those stats. So you just take them for the sake of taking them, or do you go and work on them and practice them and try to increase those percentages?
And it's funny. It's Mitch Davies saying that in the comments because the only thing that guy cares about is throwing strikes.
Strikes matter, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So halfway mark of this match, 517 over there for the T-Bay Bowling Club, Sleeping Giants, and pretty close to the similar 500 here for the Mighty Plucks.
Just a couple more marks for T-Bay, but otherwise it's a pretty even match so far.
Not as big of scores as we are probably used to in some of these matches, so we'll take 2 minutes here. Thank our sponsors, gives everybody time to regroup and come out shooting for the second half of the game. So let's go to some sponsors.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
All right, everybody,
All right,
welcome
we're
back. Looks like a bit of a technical difficulty with the mighty Plucks. The scoreboard is down, so I know they're working on it in the back end. If you want to keep going, though, this is you're good to go. Let the managers deal with that stuff. But by all means, back at the action. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see what how these guys deal with the commercial break this time.
Yeah, it's something like you said in the last game, Dex. It's not normal that we would take a 2-minute break. I mean, it's only 2 minutes, so they're used to bowling, 5 bowlers and taking their time. But an official commercial break in the middle of a match isn't so normal, is it?
No, not at all. And for whatever reason, with our team, even we definitely noticed that affected us, which is funny. It shouldn't, but it did. Hey, we got scores back.
Good stuff. Thanks everybody for waiting and doing your thing. So yeah, coming out of a commercial break, you really want to set the stage, and Sam's been playing really good here to start. A solid start, and she's got a strike to work on. Definitely want to keep it rolling, and Al's got a strike too in the 5th that they want to build on that momentum.
Absolutely.
And the commentator's curse. Somebody's supposed to help me out here, guys and gals. We should. We'll have and a 3-pin spare too at that. Oh, well done, Sam.
We'll Al's going to be unhappy with going 5- on a strike coming out of there too.
We'll need a highlight package of the amount of times that the commentators, the commentator curse. Hey?
We've got to be batting 1,000 right now. Good shot by John.
Yeah.
You can hear him starting to get pumped up out there.
Yeah, it looks like the sleeping giants are starting to get some.
Starting
They're
to wake up.
starting to wake the giants. They're coming out of their cave. Right? We'll need some good taglines for this, won't we?
Oh, that's Eric's second 2-pin.
Oh, that's right corner.
I'm surprised that move hasn't been made, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Danielle played the first match though.
Yeah,
and had some similar troubles. So I think maybe manager Al's just, come on, Eric, get it going.
Yeah, and I mean, we know that all these guys can play, but some days it's just tougher than others, And
yeah, it is. Yeah. So there's another missed corner there from Melissa. Looks like they must be making a change here. Danielle coming in. I'm assuming Eric's taking a bit of time.
Ooh.
Yeah, looks like Danielle's now made the substitution to come in. So, but maybe the pressure's off as being a the substitution's been made for the rest of the team too. I mean, even you look at Jess hasn't had a great start. Daryl's doing okay. Joanne's got okay, but sometimes you just got to make that pull to get it over with, so that nobody else is looking over their shoulder to see who's coming in, right?
100%. Yeah, and you know what? Being the person that comes off the bench, we've seen it a few times in our open too, where we had one gentleman who really preferred being on the bench. He didn't like being in the starting lineup because he had the anxiety of being pulled and didn't want to be pulled. So he loved playing off the bench. He'd come in and he'd shoot lights out off the bench. It was unbelievable. But it was just a comfort factor because he didn't like being pulled. And I totally get that. So maybe this will be a similar situation for Danielle coming back in and just being able to freewheel, knowing that her position isn't at risk anymore. So
because you're right, those players coming in off the bench, there is anxiety to being on there and getting pulled. Looking over your shoulder, even in the second frame. Oh, I missed the middle. Am I going to get pulled? No, you're not. You got to trust yourself, and the coach trusts you to play. But it's tough mentally when you start to think about that too much. So there is absolutely those players who would much prefer to come in off the bench And they might come in the 5th, they might come in the 7th, they might come in the 3rd, but once they're in, they're in. They know they're not going to get pulled, and they can just come and rip strikes.
100%.
And there is those freewheeling guys that are easygoing. You can definitely speak of some of them here in the Edmonton area that's had a lot of success playing that role.
Absolutely, 100%. I feel like there's two different mindsets to the pull. It's either gives you anxiety, where you don't want to be pulled, you're afraid of the pull, or it relaxes you and lets you just play because, if you are struggling, you got somebody behind you that can back you up.
That's right. Yeah.
Good shot by Jess. Gets the 12 count. Going for the easiest spare in the game.
And got it. Nice work.
Well done.
Mighty Plucks, we got to get something going here. Guys, you've got your substitution's been made. You got 4 frames. It's time to start throwing some doubles and triples and get some 45 counts on the board.
Yeah, this is the time, right? Backs against the wall a little bit here.
They're just it's just not there for them, unfortunately, on this one.
Just tight. They seem tight. That's when you start getting the punches and the misses. And
you'd like to see one, run a strike, come off the lane, fire, and right, or do something funny, or do something to loosen people up, or whatever it's got to be.
Yep.
Sam's playing great up top there as leadoff, throwing great shots and making spares.
Bowling is a contagious game, right? You start seeing people punching, you start punching. You start seeing people throw strikes, you start throwing strikes. It's such a contagious game. And
isn't that funny? I mean, how many times have you been standing up on the approach and the guy to the left of you throws a head pin? The guy to the right to you throws a head pin. The guy 3 lanes over throws a head pin. And what do? You talk yourself, oh no, I'm not going to do one. I'm not going to do one. Or you might walk off. You might wait. But then you get up and you go. And what do? You throw a head pin.
Yeah. That's why some people like Mitch Davies, for example, if you're in a match with Mitch will wait forever until you shoot your second ball.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to stare at that head pin.
How do you feel about that now? That a head pin in a tournament format, or depending on what format does that play into it, if the guy to the right of you or your opponent throws a head pin, are you going to wait for them to finish all 3 balls, or maybe just the second ball? How does that go into your?
Me personally, I just go up and throw it.
Yeah,
but
doesn't make a difference.
But that being said, knowing that bothers Mitch, I might take some extra time.
Right. But some players, me personally, I'd probably, depending on how the timing is, and if I'm just sort of waiting, and if I've already got my ball ready to go, I'll go. But if I haven't got my ball, I'll dilly-daddle a little bit and let them go throw their second ball. Right?
Yep, for sure. That or just don't even pay attention to what they're doing.
Yeah.
Why even notice that there's a head pin up there?
Yeah.
Especially the ones 3 lanes over,
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't affect you. It doesn't have anything to do with why you focused over there. But it's funny, that sound is so...
You're right.
You're right. That sound, don't you? Pluck.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Yeah.
So good shot by Joanne for the double. Daryl follows up with a strike. They're starting to get some rolling here. We'll see if Jess can stay on that train and start building something here for frame 8. Looking to cover that up.
So a couple of good frames for the Sleeping Giants have sort of started to pull away a little bit. Got a double up there, got another strike up there, got a spare here working on. Mighty Plucks sort of doing exactly that, aren't they? They got a double and a strike that they'll have to keep continuing, and other guys will have to start chipping in and try to get as many points as they can, but starting to have some separation here.
For sure. And you just see like most of the T-Bay Bowling Club players just playing super solid, hitting the middle, making their spares. I mean, they started to clean up those corner spare misses and stuff, and you see the chop spare up there for Sam. Those are important spares. Strikes are super important. Strikes are what Mitch says wins championships, but spares hold you in it, and in some cases when the other teams are punching and whatnot, spares will be the difference that sets you apart, gives you a bit of a cushion. Good shot by Sam there. Big roll on that for sure. That came in really high, but got some good rollout on that and left the right corner. And
yeah, for any of those stat people out there, Dex, even just taking spare percentage and evaluating that. What's my spare percentage? Am I 70 or 80 or 90% on all spares? That's just the initial one to start focusing on, right?
Yep, right. Agreed. John misses to the right. He looked like he pushed that one a little bit. Really wanted that turkey, but still playing well. Just go up there and grab your spare.
Yeah, get the spare. You still got a good bonus pins. You're up in your match, and you got it.
Good half there by Danielle. Good start. Building blocks.
Yeah.
Good shot by Alyssa.
Good shot by Alyssa. That gets her into the match here a little bit. Joanne's obviously on a double.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really solid, aggressive shot.
I believe Wes is coming out to TPC.
I'm not
sure. Oh, I thought I might have saw his name on the list of entries for that. So maybe it's somewhere else I've seen him.
Yeah, honestly, Daryl, it's hard for me to say. I lose track.
Yeah.
There's over 160 people in there, and I enter people in as I get notification that they're coming in.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to keep track of all the names that are coming for sure.
Yeah, so let's chat about that. TPC, big, huge tournament, part of this WCBT. That's next weekend at Sherwood Bowl in Sherwood Park. How many entries, shifts, all that kind of stuff you got going on there, Dexter?
So right now we're sitting in around 165 to 170 individuals coming. As for shifts, I mean, both Friday shifts or Saturday shifts are all maxed out at the moment with wait lists. Our Thursday shift, we have about 30 people with a maximum of 48. So there's still some openings for people that are wanting their first shifts to be then Thursday afternoon or Thursday morning at 11 a.m. But yeah, so I mean, our Friday morning is maxed out at 48 people. Friday afternoon is 64 people. And the great thing about those shifts is that none of those are reentries. Well, in total of the 112 entries between those two shifts, there's a possibility for like 4 reentries in that. So Saturdays are going to be full of reentries. 64 in the morning and 80 in the afternoon. It's going to be a packed weekend, guys.
Definitely something that we're not used to, is it? Whereas you won't be eligible for your first reentry until Saturday.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of times guys will sign up for 3 or 4 shifts. I mean, you might get a couple of them, but this way, I mean, your maximum 2 reentries. There'll be a lot of people looking to replay Saturday and all day Saturday. So that Saturday afternoon shift in the past sometimes has maybe not seen some of the great players. But you're definitely going to see some really, really quality players playing Sunday afternoon. So the score to sit on from your Thursday or your Friday shift, it needs to be a lot higher than what it would normally be if you're just going to sit.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what the cut's going to be. I'm definitely guessing somewhere around the 2,200 mark, somewhere in that range.
And that's for 8 games. So 8 games, 2,200. You're 275 average to qualify.
Yeah.
Top 32 spots, 31, right? Make it to the Sundays. So 31 out of 260 shifts. You're going to be needing a 275 and higher. So I wouldn't be sitting on a 2202. I'd be sitting on 2250. But you want to show big.
Yeah, even honestly, I think if you get to like 22-20, you should probably be okay. I think there's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
people in that 20, that high 2100 mark and that low 2200 mark. So,
And that's just a product of the quality of bowlers. It wouldn't be that the bowling center is, gifting you strikes and it's just going to be an easy house. It's quality of bowlers, and the WCBT sees the best bowlers from across the country coming and playing these major cash tournaments.
absolutely, 100%. But yeah, we're hoping to hit that, that 260 mark. I mean, potentially, assuming that people show up for the shifts they signed up for, that's going to be the biggest struggle, especially probably the Saturday morning shift. But if things go to plan based on what we have so far, we should be sitting at around 285 entries.
It's amazing.
So
A little bit of oops here by Alyssa, down in her match. Might play a little bit, but not like her to throw a 3-pin then through the hole. So a little tough 8th frame for Alyssa, 9th frame.
For anyone looking for shifts, 4 shifts just opened up with Mitch Davies' comments here in the chat. Some openings opening up for people. So if you're interested, give me a shout.
Mitch will come play Thursday nights, and then you're done from there, pal. But you do have some fun things. I mean, Thursday night is an invitational where it's a $1,000 entry for the men and a $500 entry for the ladies. But then Friday night you have a doubles event. How fun is that, right?
Honestly, I love those side events that we have. The invitational, that first match, there's nothing like it. It's quite the feeling. So for the main invitational, the open invitational, the $1,000 buy-in, the first match is 5 games, random draw against who you face. You have $1,000 in, and if you win that match, you win your $1,000 back. But if you lose that match, that $1,000 is gone. There's no second chance. It's just gone. So there's not a lot like that in the bowling world, and it's quite the intense first match. Once you get through that first match, it almost feels a little bit easier because you're playing with house money at that point.
Yeah.
But it's quite the thing. And then our doubles is just a nut house. We have 64 teams of doubles playing, so 128 people playing at one time. The prize money is outrageous. First place for the doubles wins $3,000 as a team, $1,500 a person, assuming that we get all 64 people in. So, it's not often you can play a doubles event that pays for your entire weekend and then some.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll have a bit of photography going on the Friday night, part of the 5-pin universe and our production team that we do. We take some more photos. I don't think we'll necessarily get down onto the lane and into the middle there like we did at Autumn Open, but we'll definitely have, a crew taking some professional photos. We'll have the green screen that we want to take in some of that stuff. So, just trying to, again, build the production side of things. Anyways, back to the action here. We're now we're back in the 10th frame. The matches, so points will be determined here through this. Sam, we know, has the win in her match. Solidly played. A couple of little sort of coasted in, but not a lot of competition coming at her here, unfortunately, from Al. So
yeah, it definitely looks like that first match is all locked up. That second match is pretty close. I mean, Danielle's come back and she started to find her rhythm here, which is awesome to see. She can max out a 220. Needs to bang out to do that, but John's got a pretty substantial lead at the moment. He needs 23 points to shut her out.
Yeah, good finish by Al. Throws a triple at the end, a little bit late. Probably doesn't mean a whole lot to him, but at the end of the day, he did throw a triple.
But you know what? You're at the end of it, and your match is over, and now you're just hucking balls, and all of a sudden the strikes go, and that's really what we're talking about with playing tight, right? Okay, yeah. So John's given this an opportunity, and unfortunately, Danielle missed the right there. But if John had missed the middle a third time, that actually gave Danielle a chance to come back and steal that match. But it's going to go. First match will be TBA Bowling Club, and the second match will be TBA Bowling Club as well.
So Sleeping Giants with 2 so far.
Why do they have 2 team names?
Yeah.
Just messing with us.
Who are you? Are you the bowling club or are you the TV bowling club? But the name
Pick
is
one,
this,
guys.
yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah. Keep us on our toes. So Joanna
third
will win
match
the
here
match
is-
here. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. That will go to Joanne and the Mighty Plucks. That 4th match is important, though. Daryl's
there's
really
a
going to
chance
want
there.
to try to steal that match back and make this a 6-2 split rather than another 7-1. So 2-9 for Alyssa. Oh, no. My math was apparently way off. 196.
Go Joanne with a solid 255 for the win. Definitely
this-
opportunity here.
Yep. Great shot.
That was a good shot. That was a good shot he was looking for. So Daryl is going to come out with this with 2 wins for today.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already got that locked up, so good for him. Throw some big shots when he needs to. The first ball of the 10 there was massive. That's a big jump for the team. There's a big difference between 6-2 and 7-1.
A little
Great
bit of
shot
a free
by Greg.
wheel there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's always just so
Free wheeling
solid.
shot there from there.
Not the team total we expected out of the Sleeping Giants either, but enough for a solid win.
Yeah, it's going to be enough for a win. So probably, the match, or it is the match, is probably on the lower end of scoring that we've seen in the 5PL. But it's a win's and a win, right? We'll take it.
Yep, absolutely. That's the way bowling is sometimes, right? That's the beauty of match play.
So then Greg with a 261 for the victory there. For those watching out there, let's see if we can bring in Daryl Gauthier. Al, if you can bring in Daryl along with you. And Taylor, would be good to talk to Sam as well in that match, if you don't mind, please, quickly. So as you get ready to do the post-game recap, that's who we'll chat with, managers and Sam, and then Daryl as well, Al. So, there's the match done, 6-2 for the Sleeping Giants over the Mighty Plucks. So 3 points overall for the Mighty Plucks. Tough day, but match day 1 is done and over with, Dex.
Yep. I mean, that's 1 quarter of the matches, right? So it's a lot of games left, a lot of points to be had. It's all good. It's a different experience. It's a learning experience, and I'm sure the next time they come out, they'll be feeling far more confident than they felt today.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the way bowling is, and unfortunately, yeah, there's going to be some back-to-back matches. It's just better for scheduling. There's some teams that get less of those, unfortunately. But sometimes that works out great for you, and sometimes if you get into a rhythm where you're punching, it does carry over, and they just couldn't seem to quite find that striking rhythm instead.
Yeah. So let's bring in both managers. We've got Al and Taylor there set and ready to go. Let's bring them in. Al, we'll start with you. Another tough one for you, bud. Got a couple of points out of it, but thoughts on that?
Yeah, man, we're not in last place, so that's sweet. Right? I think the Bombers only got 2. I think. So
No, the
we're at
Bombers got 3.
We're-
The Bombers got 3. But
you
thanks.
guys got
though.
3 too.
Yeah.
Okay, we're tied for last. You got to be positive about it, guys. Like this is
totally.
obviously the first week. Obviously, we shit the bed. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We didn't bowl well at all. Whether it was lineup change or trying to change lines, I moved to house balls. Thought one good shot. I'm like, yeah, I'll be good, and then plugged and started missing. So it was just like, it was. Everybody could have excuses, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's done with. We got 3 points. We tried to get the points that we could get, and that was pretty much it, man. I don't think Thunder Bay bowled very good either. I think they'll tell you off the hop too. I don't think they probably don't think they bowled very well either.
Oh, yeah.
It's unfortunate that we didn't hop on that kind of thing and try to take advantage of that to try to win a total at least to split the day. But man, we couldn't get nothing going, man. I think we got maybe 1 triple as a team throughout the day. So like it was we couldn't string anything as a team, and I don't know if it's everybody trying to be individuals versus a team kind of thing. Everybody's trying to carry the team and get that 4 or 5 bagger and put them on our back kind of thing. Anyways, it's all done. It's 3 points in the bank. There's still 4 weeks left, 5 weeks left, or how many weeks? 8?
Well, you still have
play
6
8 games.
Yeah, you'll still have
8
6
games.
matches
So we
left.
still got 6 matches to go, and you know what? We wouldn't have put our money into this if we didn't think we were capable of shooting 1,1400s, right? So shooting under 1,100 is a little bit embarrassing. So I think everybody's going to go home and cry and eat a lot of Halloween candy, and then we'll be ready to go for the 21st.
That's right. Hey, that was a big strike by Daryl at the end there, though. That's a big strike.
Yeah,
to
we
steal
knew.
that match. That's
Yeah,
important.
he knew. He had looked whatever, so he had saw that Wes had opened in 9, I think, or something like that. So he knew he needed the first one to put pressure on it. But then, then when he missed the second, I thought Daryl was kind of pissed off that he missed the second strike in 10. But I told him that Wes had punched anyways, so he was still grumpy, and I'm pretty sure kicked the ball rack anyways. But
That's Daryl.
See, these guys know, right?
Yeah.
It's Daryl.
Yeah. Daryl won provincials once, and when he won, it looked like somebody murdered his dog. He's on Greg level of just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But Taylor, obviously, Al mentioned it. I mean, you guys won the match. Probably not the way the scores you wanted to shoot. What do you take out of that game, though?
It was a tough match. Like I think the idea of not having the other people right beside you to kind of mentally and physically intimidate while you're bowling, fire yourself up. You're just looking at a screen, right? I can't look at Al and make eyes at him or nothing. So you just got to bowl your match. And I think that's a hard thing to do, just looking at a digital version of the score to beat, right? You don't get that, that fire in your veins because there's nobody here. So I think Carey was consistently turning our microphone lower and lower because I was sitting below it just yelling obscenities at the team because, like you said, we weren't bowling great. We bowled a little bit better, but yeah, nothing to write home about for sure.
Yeah. We can see Carey in the background nodding his head. Yes, he was doing it. Yeah.
I figured, yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you get the win. You get the 6-2. Sam, solid leadoff. Some great shots there, up top, right? Yeah,
we got a couple top bowlers that are fiery, get worked up on the lane because we got a couple of Gregs who they can throw 75 in a row and just stone face off the lane. So you need to get those guys that are fired up top. So then that way it gets everybody going down low.
For sure.
Yeah, good stuff. Any chance, Al, you got Daryl around by you, or Taylor, you got Sam? We can always talk to them after the match as well. But let's just chat.
I can go get it right now.
Yeah, get it. Daryl, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Just wanted to, shout out to you. Obviously, not quite the result that the Mighty Plucks would have wanted overall. But you yourself, you got a couple of wins in both your matches. Any thoughts out there about how the playing went today?
Well, didn't go according to plan, obviously. But still thought overall, I felt I shot all pretty well, but made some bad shots at the bad times. But matches were close. It was some good bowling. I like the whole format of this league. Why I came in at the last minute to help out the team. I definitely want to see it succeed.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, that's good on you, man. And good, obviously, making, getting a couple of wins, too, is big for the team. Something to take out of that, too, for sure.
Yeah, big clutch.
Yeah, no, definitely. Anything to do to help out the team. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I didn't really pay too much attention to the game until I did take a peek at the ninth. So there was only a few pins, so I got the first strike, missed the second one. Wasn't sure what exactly was going on, and then Elle told me West had a punch, so relieved it, but I still have to put my little kick in there.
Well, good on you. Sam, nice work. Good start. Obviously threw the ball, a little stumble at the end there, but I mean, your start and was big for the team to really start get the team going.
Yeah, I definitely thought I was throwing a good ball. Had a few misses that I definitely don't think felt right, but it was good to go out and start the team up with something.
And Taylor mentioned that it's tough, obviously, out there. Nobody in the bowling center. You're not playing head-to-head against somebody. You're sort of watching a digital screen. What was your game plan as the leadoff bowler to get the team fired up and into it and get engaged right away?
It was just to go throw with some type of energy. Throw the ball a little bit harder for a female, so it was just to kind of like keep everyone, I guess, in the mindset to like go out and throw as a team. It's weird not having your competitor in the bowling center with you, but
for sure, it is a different dynamic, 100%. Yeah, like Taylor said, like it's facing the digital version of a score. It's no different than going into league and facing a DOE score. But the difference is both teams are doing the same thing, so someone's got to come out on top. So it's a little bit different that way. But I know people struggle with DOE scores facing them in league and stuff like that too. So it is a different dynamic, 100%. But building that energy and just running as a team is so important.
yeah. The nice part here is you have someone actually bowling, so you can go and look at their score compared to bowling like a blind score where you have a goal set in mind, whereas here you have someone scores who's fluctuating.
Yeah, 100%.
Sure. Well, good start. Well done. We'll wrap up this match and we'll do a commercial and we'll get ourselves ready for the next match. And obviously there we'll bring Taylor back in and then Gerald's waiting as well on that end. So good luck to you in the next match and we'll chat soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, let's queue up commercial and wrap up this match here. So obviously the Sleeping Giants win 6-2, and the Mighty Plucks unfortunately going home with a couple of losses. Look to regroup and have themselves back in it. But we'll wrap this one up and we'll come back and set up the next one.
At Cargill, we have numerous brands and varieties of canola seed to meet any producer's needs. We look forward to helping you create a plan for your 2022 crop. Please contact your local crop input sales rep for any of your canola seed needs. Thank you and enjoy the bowling.
All right, back at it. Hello, everybody. Here we are getting ready and set up for match number 3 on week number 3. Had a good couple of matches so far. Daryl Bradley and Dexter Wiseman coming with you here to commentate this last match. Dex, couple of good ones. We'll tee it up now for the third one. What are your thoughts so far, bud?
Yeah, I mean, it's some good bowling, some struggling. We're kind of seeing all aspects of what 5-pin bowling is. Especially in a team atmosphere, like we said, it's very contagious. So you start seeing people run, and then all of a sudden the scores go really high, and you start seeing people struggle. You start seeing the scores get dipping down a little bit lower. But I think this next match is going to be great. Grand Prairie played great the first match, first thing this morning. They looked comfortable. It looked like they were having fun. They look like they have a really good team dynamic. I mean, the Sleeping Giants that team is phenomenal. We all know how capable all their players are. I think there's going to be a bit of a lineup change for this match too. So you might see a little bit more energy in there as well, and hopefully we'll see some great bowling. Yeah,
you're right. So let's bring in Gerald and Taylor, and we'll ask them what their thoughts are on the lineup. Hey guys, how are you? So Taylor, I guess first question for you. Oh, we've got the Halloween costume. Good job, Gerald. Taylor, are we going to see? Yeah, are we going to see you in the lineup in this one, Taylor?
Yeah, we're going to do a swap out. So my initial thought was Lowman for the first match was going to be the double bench, as we're calling it, the out of the lineup for the second match, but we didn't do the pull. So we're putting Dan in the lineup, putting myself in the lineup, and then J-Dubs is on the bench, and Wes is hitting the double pine.
Gotcha. So John will be the bench-eligible player to come in.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Sounds good. And Gerald, how about yourself?
All we're doing is we're changing that middleman. We're going to keep the brothers separated and put Sean in for Robert. Otherwise, our order's staying the same with Corey, Carter, Scott, and Danny. And Robert, he can clean the bench for a little while with that crazy start that he had, right?
Yeah.
You use that mullet.
Oh, that's
a good use.
Yeah, but maybe he can come into the match if needed. Obviously, like Sean did for you last time, right?
Absolutely. He'll be ready.
He'll be ready. So. Well, guys, we won't keep you too much on this one. I know that everybody's eager to get going out in the match, get some balls going, and let's see some energy in the third match. Both of you have a win so far for the day.
Yeah.
So this is for the winner of the day.
Good luck, Taylor.
Good luck to you guys, too.
Yeah, you better be listening to me, buddy.
I'm only half a pitcher in. I can still hear.
Okay, yeah, me too.
Yeah. Taylor's being pretty nice. I don't think he knows Gerald as well. So
you bring it on, buddy. Just bring it on. It's all good.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Don't encourage him.
Taylor just wants to get out there and play. So let's go, guys. Good luck to you. We'll chat with you after.
Thanks.
All right, the GP Holy Rollers and the Sleeping Giants. If we can do quick little lineups up there, we'll list the rosters.
Yeah.
So for Holy Rollers, Scott Hauka, Sean Tompkins, Carter Stretch, Robert Tompkins, Corey Peugeot, Danny Stewart, Kately Haffer, and Gerald Haffer's the manager. For the Sleeping Giants, Greg DeGrazia, Dan Taylor, Wes Swallock, Sam Satar, John Wilcott, Taylor Michelle, Alyssa Bonney, and then Taylor pulling double duties there.
Yeah, this match is going to be really good, I think. Honestly, again, that the T-Bay Bowling Club, that lineup is so potent. It's the lineup they have in now resembles a lot of their Open Nationals teams that have done extremely well. You have Dan Taylor in there, you have Taylor Michelle, you have Greg DeGrazia, Sam Satar is phenomenal, Alyssa Bonney is phenomenal, and they're deep when you can have West sitting on the double pine.
Yeah.
So,
but
expect them to bounce back.
The Holy Rollers had a really solid first match. They were 1250. Guys there can play, and that was including Scott Hauka, who had I think 19 head pins in his first game that didn't have a lot of success, but I mean they can play, and these guys are very good team atmosphere, get along very well, looking to make some damage here and make some waves in the 5PL.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're so good. Again, that they're starting to understand how good they really are. But the great thing about them is that they're all friends. They all get along really well, and that team dynamic is going to be strong because they have such a great community up there. Good shot by Carter there, leaving the right corner.
Sounds like, at the Thunder Bay, the bowling club they've got some other people bowling. So it looks like a bit of an atmosphere, or sounds like an atmosphere there at the center. Whereas I'm not sure, and they're again, of course, 2 hours ahead of time, so they're 1:30, 1:15 here now, Eastern time. Whereas I don't know if Grand Prairie, if they're starting to see business on a Sunday afternoon until maybe noon.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like they got all their shields down. Doesn't look like they're prepared to have open play in here anytime soon. So probably a little bit quieter in there, that's for sure. Which is weird. Again, that's another different dynamic for us playing in this. Is that you're used to having the sound of balls and pins and clapping and cheering and all that, and dead silence.
Yeah, and for you guys, example, the Dream Crushers who played last weekend at Sherwood Bowl. Your matches were 10 and 11 in the morning, but you had a full center because you had, a TPC satellite going. You had a youth travel league tournament going on. So the atmosphere there was kind of raucous, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good having people around. I mean, it was different too because you're playing in this team event and you're really looking at just trying to focus on your team, and. We have the satellite, and a lot of them are friends, right? And they start wandering into your pit, trying to chat with you guys while you're doing this thing. And it was unique with that as well. Just like you try not to be rude, being like, "Hey, like we're trying to focus on this stuff," but
cheer away, but don't come talk to me.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a little bit different, but otherwise, I mean, the sounds were all there. It was good. Once the satellite was over, for about 3 frames at the end there, we had our usual cheerleaders that were fantastic to have around too. So
I was going to say we should have thrown an auction or thrown something out there for what Taylor's going to throw for his first frame.
Oh yeah, we should have.
But Taylor's a solid bowler.
He
spared a headpin. Spared a headpin. That's what that. Who would have called that?
What? Yeah, good thing we didn't bet on that. Wow.
Unreal. Can we see a video replay of that, please, sir?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. I think our technical side's like, what? No, but really, headpin spared. First frame of the 5PL, first time. Well done.
That's crazy. And honestly, you haven't seen a whole ton of kickbacks there. That blows my mind. Wow.
Yeah. Yes, he did get a headpin spare. Sorry, Holy Rollers. They're thinking, what the? Yeah.
Wow. That's an intimidation factor right there, right?
Yeah.
You could spare anything at that point. It's like, oh shit, I better throw a ton of strikes.
That's probably not one you would normally put on as a spare percentage, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, interesting start to this match.
That was a solid
Good shot by Sam.
Yeah.
Great start for her. Corey's going to start open.
Yeah. Solid mojo, though, up top there by Corey, for sure.
Yeah, lots of energy. You love seeing it. Comes back with emotion.
Dan with a solid rip at it, but couldn't get the bounce that Taylor had. So a little reminder here that obviously we're playing for 8 points are on the table. Each individual match, so we've got Corey versus Sam is worth a point, Carter versus Dan is worth a point, and so forth. Every individual bowler against their opponent is worth 1 point. And then the team total is worth 3 points. So it's a big team total component to this that you don't want to, if your matches you're getting blown away, you definitely don't want to just let it go. You want to fight for every point possible, and that's where sometimes substitutions come into play or anything there, right? That team total's huge, isn't it, Dexter?
Oh yeah, massive. That's that team total makes and breaks your seasons, really.
Yeah, the
100%.
5-2, the 6-3, or sorry, the 5-3s, the 6-2s. You might lose a couple of matches, but that team total is what you got to be looking for. That's how you get your wins.
Great double by Alyssa there. Really good aggressive shot. And Taylor capitalizes on the headpin spare.
And Taylor's no stranger to competitive 5-pin bowling, obviously making the tour finals last year and having a really solid year on the WCBT. Coming out here for TPC, he's a guy that can definitely play, can he?
He's so good. And he's so quick, full of energy. Great teammate. I mean, I've seen him play at the Open Nationals a bunch of times. And, thing about Taylor is it's hard to be super serious around the guy. He's super funny, super lighthearted. He'll tell you straight up how things are, but he's just such a good dude. And, just an all-around great teammate, great player.
I feel like the energy level between these two teams has sort of increased as the day has gone along. We're in the league now. We're in these matches. We got to get going, right? Increase energy. Come on, pumped.
I totally agree. And you know what? The Holy Rollers, the first game, they were pretty pumped up too. They were pretty animated. They were definitely right into that match. T-Bay Bowling Club, the first match, they didn't seem super hyped up and into it. But it's funny how even in this scenario you can kind of match the other team's energy levels, and the Mighty Plucks struggled with their team energy today. That's for sure.
It's going to be a really hard way for Scott Hauke to get to 180. I think you probably want to try something different.
We call that the Grand Prairie Special.
Oh,
they all take great pride in being able to pick their 3-pin spares.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so great frame by the T-Bay Bowling Club. 4 marks, one of which is a double, and an open on the easiest spare in the game, the 12 spare. But Grand Prairie came back and got their marks on the last 3, bottom 3 there. So good start. Now to try to find a rhythm at the top there, and away they go.
So we see here they take their time, obviously entering into that next frame. Part of the rules of the league is you cannot start the next frame until the other team has finished that frame as well. So you can't get ahead too far. You can only wait, a couple of bowlers and have to start the following frame when the team is done. So.
Yeah, for sure, and that's a good thing too, because the last thing you want to see is a team get 2 frames ahead and then hit that commercial break and wait 2 minutes there, and then wait another 5 minutes for the other team to catch up too. So. It's just good for pacing, and it's good for TV so that we can actually see how the match is going along.
There's a strike down wanted, and solid spare back for Corey on the corner pin spare. That was something that we saw last game. There was quite a few corner pin spares missed that I think we'll look to have cleaned up in the course of the game.
Absolutely.
And days ahead.
I'm sitting here trying to lean around Carter to try to see what he got for pins, and it's not working.
Yeah, sometimes you can't see it, can you?
Solid shot by Alyssa there. That's a great start for her.
Haven't seen a lot of triples here today, and anybody really taking off and running it. Good spare by Carter.
Good shot by Taylor there. That looked pretty flush right pocket too. And Sean's got a double for them. Those doubles are huge.
Well, those 45 counts are so needed.
Good half by Taylor there.
It's a better count that Scott wanted on the pocket shot. There we go. Thanks, Carrie. We forgot about the little, what do we call them? Overlays or Pinups. We did a bunch of photos when we were at Autumn Open there with the work with the green screen, and came in handy there. Last week we saw a bunch of our 5-pin U crew. So when we come up at TPC next weekend, let's everybody be prepared to take some photos in the green screen so we can use for any sort of content that we have building.
Do you think that team is disappointed now that Greg didn't spare his headpin?
Come on, Greg.
Yeah, try harder. All right, so good frame for both teams. The Holy Rollers have a complete black frame, so that's awesome. Greg was the only one that didn't throw a strike or didn't mark in there, but a couple of a double for each team there as well. So yeah,
there's no rule about having fans or people at the bowling alley or creating a really cool atmosphere. You don't have to go this on your own, so definitely take out the family, the friends, your bowling supporters. If you've people watching and playing, I mean, fill the bowling center if you want. I mean, this is for the fans. We're and the followers. We want to build this league, so whatever environment you need to have in the center to make sure that you're all engaged and ready to go. That's something definitely that we'll do with the Bombers. I think that we're going to put the ask out to have fans in the place. So even if you get a dozen or 20 or 1,000, it would be great. But just to have fans in there supporting you and cheering you on, means a lot.
100%. Come on out as long as restrictions allow. Come on out, set up a TV, get the YouTube going, watch these guys play, and follow along and cheer for them. It's a good shot by Carter. It looked really good out of his hand too.
Yeah, better shot, right? A couple of misses there, the first couple, or second and third, but that's definitely
for sure had some good lift on that. Might have been a touch thin, and maybe that's why he got the corner. But
another easiest spare in the game.
Yeah,
for Dan.
Dan's looking for redemption. Good half. He missed.
That barely missed.
He throws that back up. I thought it was going to curl back for sure, but good half by Dan.
Dan got the easiest spare.
Good cover. So slower start for the top two than we had last time for the Holy Rollers, but still very early in the match. She knew right away.
Yeah. Oh, got it there. Nice. Actually, this is shaping up to be a big match. A triple there for Sean, and Alyssa's potentially stopped her run a bit.
And that's just how quick a match can change, right? All of a sudden, it comes down to one shot. Alyssa punches, Sean throws a strike, and now all of a sudden, Sean's got the advantage.
That was a better ball by Scott. Looked like it was just in the right spot and right fingers on it. Overall.
Much better, absolutely. Oh.
I don't know if that was down. What do you think, Dex? That was pretty late, it looked like.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time telling because, I mean, it's all based on the shield. So the shield wasn't down yet, but it definitely looked like that could have been from the machine cycling. But that's that's so tough. That's a tough call. I'm honestly okay with this. It could have gone either way. So, but like I said, the shield wasn't moving at the time. So that's the guidelines that we have, right? So,
we'll bring that one to podcast for Wednesday.
Yeah. And that could be a big break for them. 100%.
Yeah.
Another good frame for the bottom three for the Holy Rollers. Oh, that's a good shot by Corey. There we
We
go.
had our commissioner, everybody just for in the background, was monitoring the play and has determined that the pin was down. So anybody questioning if it was late or not good, official ruling is that yes, the pin was down. So it's a strike.
Aces for Sam. She hit the right part of that pin. You never know now. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, well, I hear them. You hear them cheering all of it. All right, so they're confident that they could be sparing everything. Yeah. But still, good start. Buck 22. Couple of hits.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Decent lead in her match. Carter's definitely struggling a little bit this game.
Oh, solid rip. A couple of punch trouble there. But Dan's ripping along, though. I mean, they're definitely big shots.
Yeah, the guy
So
just rifles balls.
Yeah, so here's Sean Tompkins on a triple, looking to continue that.
That's a really big shot. Take a big advantage in this match. Oh, good shot.
Yeah, good shot. Chop's good.
Love hearing the team right into it, too.
Yeah, pin's just bouncing around for him. Wow.
Put in two guys with a little bit more ball speed, and all of a sudden you start seeing those kickbacks.
Yeah. Do you find anything, the pins, the comment, the pins are all warmed up now. They're bouncing and moving around, or the lanes, they've had a whole bunch of games on them. Is that, from a technical standpoint, is that true or?
No.
No.
Not at all. But what is true is the temperature in the back. So, I mean, if you're in a place where it's chilly in the morning, but it gets pretty warmer in the afternoon, and the back of the machine start to heat up a little bit, the heat on the bands will definitely make a difference for sure. If you start having like a cold environment, pins just don't bounce the same, and that's all based on just the sheer temperature in the back. So,
but just in general, the machines themselves won't produce that heat or to the bands. I mean, if they're being run in themselves, it's more the outside or external temperature. Is that what you're saying?
For sure, yeah, absolutely. At least with our machines, the CA ones.
Yeah, Greg.
Great shot. They don't produce much heat at all, hardly any. So, definitely more on external temperatures than anything.
Right. So halfway through the match, the T-Bay Bowling Club Sleeping Giants have 569, working on a couple of marks there in the 3-4-5 hole. Whereas Danny, we love seeing that strike. Dan, the Holy Rollers pretty much similar with the 558, working on a mark or two as well themselves. So it's a fairly even match thus far to the game. Looking to see if we can get some rolling going, some bigger scores getting off and going, but it's coming.
Yeah, 100%, really tight.
Yeah, let's thank our sponsors for all their contribution, and we'll be back at you in a couple minutes, everybody.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
And we're back.
We're back at it. Here we go. Dexter Wiseman, Daryl Bradley with you, commentating. Here we are in the third match of the day. The GP Holy Rollers versus the T-Bay Bowling Club, the Sleeping Giants. Both of these teams won their matches previously against the Timmins Mighty Plucks. Close match so far, everybody. We're halfway. And sometimes we've seen coming out of a commercial break, it's been a little bit of a slow start, so I'm sure we'll look for these people to get the action fired up right away back in it.
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty even match through the first 5 here. Really interested to see how people play on the doubles in this frame. That could be a big turning point here. So keep an eye on that coming here in the 6th frame. Good shot for Corey there, leaving the left corner. Sam's struggling with punches right now, so we'll
punch chases, punch there. Yeah.
She started out the match great too, so we'll see what kind of the rope is for her and Dan here, because Dan's kind of in the similar position. So
yeah, so who do we have again on the bench? Is that West that's on the bench?
John.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
John's
John is on the bench,
and Wes is not available.
Yeah, correct. Holy.
Oh, that was a crash. That sounded like a 10-pin. Didn't it?
I've never seen so many pins just come back and just bounce it around on the lanes. Yeah. It's like they put a piece of plywood back there or something. That's crazy.
A couple of good strikes for both those people in the 2-hole.
Absolutely. And very differing styles.
Yeah.
Some kickbacks in both places. Sean just missed left and got a 7 count out of it.
And covered it up for the spare.
Yeah, good half. Almost had the spare there for Alyssa. We call that the penalty shot. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens when you miss middle on the first shot, but good count on her head pin there, or on her strike.
Yeah, you still get the 28 count, but that 5 and then the blow through on the second time is hard to take, right? So you feel like you've covered yourself by making the right shot, but then you get the blow through.
Absolutely. Great shot by Taylor there.
Good
for him for not playing the entire first match and then coming out and just throwing absolute rockets into the pocket. Yeah. We have a lineup change here. We have our switch made for the Holy Rollers. Robert Tompkins just got subbed in for Scott. Scott threw the 3-pin, and Robert came in and made the 3-pin spare. So
yeah,
the GP special.
Yeah, and it was a tough go for Scott. I mean, obviously, played a really good first match. This one just kind of got away from him his first shot. three pins and another miss. Obviously not ideal for him.
Yeah, I mean, the first match he played well. He was hitting what he was aiming at, just wasn't quite the exact spot he wanted to be. And this match he got a little bit wild. But when you start struggling with things like that, the punching and whatnot, you start trying things, and then things get a little bit more erratic. Kind of the nature of the way things go.
Here's a substitution too that you probably not necessarily have seen coming, but John Wilcott in for Greg DeGrazia. But Greg just a bit too beaky, and that's the trouble with Greg. He's so accurate on the middle that for him, when he's struggling, he's punching.
100%.
Right. Whereas some people hitting the middle is good. Right. I'm hitting the middle. I'm throwing a good shot. Whereas that line for Greg isn't, right? And maybe a bit of the mentality coach or manager Taylor just wanted to make a change and let's get a player out of there and time to do something.
Tough call
on his end, but you got to make
the other part is Greg is quite a bit down in his match too, right? So if you want to have a chance of stealing that match back, you got to make that change pretty quick.
Yeah,
so
you do.
Danny opens up the sixth frame, gives John an opportunity to come back and maybe get out a run out, throw some strikes, and make up some of that ground. So the other side of it too is Taylor and Greg are pretty good friends, and I'm sure it made Taylor feel pretty good yanking Greg.
I'm sure it wasn't something he really wanted to do, but something that necessary to do. And when you're in the position of a manager, you got to make the call on the anchor bowler sometimes.
Oh, for sure, and that's probably the toughest pull to make, is the guy you put down in the bottom, trusting to make the shots when you need to make the shots. And I mean, it's not like Greg's playing bad. It's just like you said, just a little bit beaky. But
a change just need to be made.
Pull to make.
It's all good. It's all good. Change just need to be made.
And the unfortunate side of it is the other two that maybe felt that hook a little bit too, both came out and punched right away after.
Yeah.
So
big double there for Carter.
Huge.
Get some momentum going in 6 and 7. Come back in his match, almost take control a little bit. It's big for him. Then so Sean with the head pin too.
They're getting really fired up over there, and
they are
in Thunder Bay for their head pin cleanups. I love it. It's awesome. So Sean slowed down a little bit here, a couple punches and a miss, but just looking to kind of bounce back and bang out for his 300 there. But Alyssa slowed right down with him. That match is going to be really tight.
Four head pins in a row right now for the Giants.
So 168 for Sean in the 7th. So Alyssa will have a full ball in hand if she picks her wood.
Big shot here for Robert. See if he can claw away and get some points into the match. Help out his team for total.
Yeah, for sure. Taylor's just absolutely rolling right now. So another
sure is.
Great shot. But I mean, hey, great job by Robert for coming off the bench. Coming in, spares Scott's 3-pin, and then throws a strike right away. That's big for the team.
See if John backs up his coach, manager. Go out and spare it up.
Nothing wrong with that shot. Oh.
We've lost everything now in Grand Prairie. Perhaps a bit of a Wi-Fi connection issue.
We may have another quick break here. Find out what's going on.
Cargill, we have numerous brands and varieties of canola seed to meet any producer's needs. We look forward to helping you create a plan for your 2022 crop. Please contact your local crop input sales rep for any of your canola seed needs. Thank you and enjoy the bowling.
And we're back.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for sticking with us there. Just a little bit of a technical malfunction. But our commissioner / IT guru in the background was able to work his magic and get things back into action. So here we go, setting up for the 8th frame.
Carrie does such a good job in the background.
Yeah, so we're in the top there where Corey's 127, whereas Sam's 145, so an 18-pin difference. Not a lot of pins, still a few frames to go, max 135 with these last 3 frames. So there's still opportunities for movement for sure, both of them.
Yeah, there's definitely a couple of matches still up for grabs there for sure. The only one that's a bit of a runaway is Taylor's match for sure. The other ones can definitely be caught. This was not the frame either of the leadoff bowlers wanted, but that's the beauty of match play. It's going to be still there for them. But Sam just ended up making up 10 extra bonus pins.
Yeah, it looks like Corey's just sort of snapped there at the last minute. It looks like from here we were able to, it was going to hit, but then it just sort of moved to the last minute to the side. So look to Carter build on his double. That's a big double, help his team out, and his own personal match too. Dan's throwing rockets, but just right on the beak, unfortunately.
That's a huge shot by Carter there.
That really is big. Well done, Carter.
That gives him a major advantage in that match now.
Yeah, so we'll see Dan's max is going to be a 220, mid 220, whereas Carter's already well over 180 plus bonus pins. Nice big strike there for Sean. Set himself up in the 8th frame.
I'd like to see Robert throw another strike here and put a little bit of pressure on Taylor.
Now, we play our fun game podcast nights, the What's My Score 135, and we often do it. I mean, it's last 3 frames, decks 8, 9, 10. What would you say the target score for those last 3 frames are if you're a bowler you want to be hitting?
Are you saying in like this instance with Robert, or just in total?
No, just in general. In general, I mean, we often probably start counting our max score from wherever, but specifically for sure do on the 8th, 9th, 10th frame.
So generally looking for 90, I would think.
Yeah, just staying on that 90, 30, 60, 90 type of thing.
Totally, yeah. You just don't want to do something silly like coming home with 43 or something for the last 3.
Yeah. that 10th frame is huge when you can obviously have three, guaranteed you've got 3 balls, but that 45. So yeah, I think that 90. It'll be interesting to see some of the stats coming out of the Autumn Open. If that was a stat package, what was their score in 8, 9, 10?
Yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Like, if you can that be extrapolated from the spreadsheet and the stat package? What was your score 8, 9, 10s? Oh, there's one for our stat guys in the back that are thinking about it. Right?
I was half expecting Taylor to spare that. He hit that left two pin at the right spot to get a kick across too, and it would have been interesting to see a head pin spare and an aces spare in the same game for him. But great frame by the Holy Rollers. That's exactly what they were looking at trying to get. 4 marks going down the line. That's good. T-Bay's only got 1 mark so far right now, so some pressure on John to build some momentum for his team going into 9. And he threw a great shot to do it.
Yeah. And team total is both of them are really close here.
Yeah.
There's everybody who's playing should know that every point counts, whether your match might be a little bit lower or you're down by a few, like Corey's down by 30, but team total are huge now coming into 9-10.
Yeah, and you know what? 30 is still doable. You're within 2 balls, right? So that just means, throwing a turkey and, 9, 10, 11 and somebody opening up, you can make up those 30 pins pretty quick with one mistake. So
this 9th frame is huge.
Absolutely. She needs building blocks here.
Doesn't look like she's missing by much, but just missing outside.
For sure. Sam shot comes in a little bit high there and gets a corner out of it. Probably the expected result. That's a better shot by Corey. Oh, I thought she had that for sure. Picks up her wood to get the 15. Sam started out that match really well, and then follows it up with, unfortunately, 6 straight opens.
Well, and they're all head pins.
Still has control.
Yeah. Your 7 count, your aces, punch,
exactly.
Punch. I mean, that's just still throwing it.
Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, still in control of her match. Yeah. So that's the important thing.
Another big shot for Carter to keep his team rolling in the team total points.
What? Yeah, absolutely. This shot is huge. Great shot.
He knew it too. As soon as he throws that in that spot, he knows, doesn't he?
Yeah, he just gets that little bit of lift and it goes right into that right pocket. Beautiful ball.
Ooh, another double. 2 doubles.
That's a big shot by Sean. All of a sudden, that match can get close. Alyssa needs to throw a mark here for sure. Great answer.
That match for sure is coming down to the 10th.
Well, yeah, Sean can now max out for 303. And
Alyssa.
No, Alyssa maxes out for 299.
Oh, yes, 299.
So Sean bangs out. Sean wins that match. It's a big double. Taylor comes back and answers with another strike. Good frame by the sleeping giants there.
Good work coming in from the bench there by John. We just talked about it. Obviously, do you leave a guy like Greg in, or do you make the pull? And justifiably here, John has come in and done his job with a chop spare, right spare strike on the pocket, whereas Greg was a little bit beaky for the 3 frames, right? So no issues there.
Yep, absolutely. And this puts a little bit of pressure on Danny here. Danny doesn't throw the strike. All of a sudden, John's got a chance.
Ooh, commentator curse there. You got a highlight package for you, Dex. That's a tough punch. That's a tough punch, though. Danny had the strike in 8. Getting another one in 9 sets that whole team up with 3 doubles. Would have been big looking at it from the teammate.
For sure. So he can pick his wood here to get to 233, leaving him a max of 278. John's got a chance at 265. So that means really, ultimately, Danny needs to throw the double now to shut out John.
Thanks, everybody, for sticking with us and watching today. It's been a solid day of bowling. We've got a lot of people out there watching from wherever you are across the country. 5-pin bowling is back Sunday morning, so thanks for watching along with us. Hope you like the product.
Yeah, you're right, Daryl. Corey's shot does not look like it's missing by much.
It's not. It's just, I feel like the snap or something's just moving right. We're talking an inch here at the end.
Good shot by Sam. That's good to see. It's been a grind.
Yeah. Couple of wins today for Sam, being the leadoff bowler for the T-Bay Bowling Club. Big pressure, position. Obviously well experienced and capable of playing there. Getting a couple of wins for the team. Good job. Commentator curse. And right. And tough finish there for Corey. A little bit of probably opportunity for a pull in there, but being the only female, the rules were that she had to stay in. A bit of a tough situation for her, but had a great first match in her first game against the mighty Plucks.
So these next 2 bowlers for the Holy Rollers is going to be huge. It gives them the opportunity to really take a pretty big hold on this team total match. Got a little excited and missed left.
Yeah, a bit dropped. You could see it bounced a little bit there on that one for him.
The spare is important, though.
Yeah, big strike there for Dan. Team total points there. Obviously he's out of his match. But closing that gap and getting the team points is huge.
It's a much better shot. Ooh, just missed right. This makes Sean's double so much bigger with him being the last mark in 9 to play in 10. So T-Bay's got the bottom 3 all with strikes. They definitely need some results out of Sean in this frame, unfortunately. And it shouldn't come down to one person, but
team totals are about similar. But you're right; those 3 strikes in the 3, 4, 5 are pretty big, aren't they, Dex? And then that's
huge.
Sean's double is big. So the first one,
great first ball.
Got it. Big energy.
Huge shot.
Huge shot for him to come back. Struggled a little bit in the first half, but played well in the coming in as a sub last game. And is able to finish off the game here. Well done. Yeah,
even if he bangs out, he's still going to need a little bit of help, but they definitely need. Great answer. Great answer.
Alyssa. So we're 1-1 so far, with Sam winning the match and Carter winning the match. Oh, huge shot there again by Sean.
And not even just for team total, but for his individual match too. That's he throws the next one, he's won this game.
Yeah, because he had the opportunity to shut her out, right?
Yeah, bang out for 303 to shut her out by 4.
Good job. Huge opportunity for these guys to play some really big, meaningful matches, right? That confidence is massive for these boys up north.
Absolutely. So that will give Sean his individual win, but 2 huge strikes for the team as well to start that.
Yeah. Alyssa might have sent that one to the side there. A little whoops.
Hands up in the air like, what just happened? So these bottom 2 are going to have to throw some strikes here to help out as well.
11:56. We've got some bit of a cushion, but again, those 2 strikes are counting. Oh, and
Absolutely.
Taylor misses there. It's a potentially big miss when it comes to team total.
It's a huge shot by Robert.
Hey, Robert's come in and played good too, right? After getting the pull, comfort level, just coming in and freewheeling a bit.
Absolutely. It's nice to see GP digging in here and showing their character and fighting right to the end. This is a huge 10th frame for them. This is awesome. Great shot by Taylor. Good half. Important half. Oh, missed again. Good game by Taylor.
Yeah.
3-12, nothing wrong with that. I'm sure he's going to be a little bit disappointed with his 10th frame, but solid game all around.
So John's got the opportunity to come up and put pressure early on Danny as the anchor bowlers, and there's definitely an opportunity there for Sean or for John if he can throw a couple.
That is a massive shot.
Yeah, got the first one. So he's got a max 265, potentially forcing Danny to get a double.
Yep, double 2-pin to tie, double 3-pin to win. Good 10th frame by Robert. Solid 30 pins there.
And that bonus strike that John had in the 9th frame could be coming into play here for total. Tough punch there. Well done for Danny. I think Danny will be coming in as our guest after hours, winning both of his match, Danny Stewart. So well done from the Holy Rollers.
And now, barring some major catastrophe, that'll give them a team total 2, and that'll be that.
Yeah, so 12-11.
That's huge.
12-11 versus 12-04 so far. So that's going to be a win. Making sure our count was right. We had a 12-16 for the Holy Rollers. And we did have a 12-04. So the Holy Rollers come out with the win there. 12-16 versus the Sleeping Giants with the 12-04.
Yeah.
So total, our points were what? They're 5, 6.
Oh, no, we lost him again.
Alyssa
didn't. Sam won.
So 6-2. Sam
Danny
and Taylor
lost.
Won. So 6-2.
Yeah.
So 6-2 for the Holy Rollers versus the T-Bay Bowling Club. And the Holy Rollers won 7-1 the first match. So a solid 13 points today for the Holy Rollers. So they're back in. That's huge. That's awesome. Good solid day. If everybody's watching, Al, you're done, aren't you, bud? Taylor, we just want you to come and join us in the back. In the background, though, Gerald, if we can get Danny to come and join us. So, Gerald, see if you can get Danny to come join us in the back. Nice work, guys. Taylor, I see you're in the back, so let's bring you in. Taylor, what's going on? Huge match for yourself. Good job, bud. Obviously, the team didn't come out on top, but thoughts on that, bud?
Wasn't huge enough.
Yeah, to kind of mentioned you probably would have been disappointed in your 12th frame, or 10th frame, sorry. But thoughts overall, the team, the match, the day. Give us our thoughts.
It was a good day. It's our first day doing a very different style of competitive bowling. I think we did relatively well. Not so much worried about lineup in terms of matches. I'm more worried about lineup in terms of cohesion going down the lineup, making sure people are bowling behind people. Get the right people in front of the right people, fire them up, get them going. And I think we got a pretty good feel. First real co-ed style bowling that we've done with the girls. So I think we found our groove and we'll be able to run with it.
Tough call to pull Greg in there. I mean, obviously he was on the middle punching head pins. What's going through your head in that moment?
Oh, well, I'll give you this right away. As soon as I started bowling, I said, Greg, you're up for the pull. Greg, you're not pulled. Greg, you're in charge of the pull. Because once I'm bowling, I'm not paying attention to the other team's scores. I'm on the lane pumping my bowlers up. So I was after about frame 3, I told Greg, I said, you watch the scores and you do the pull. He's more of the analytical match play kind of guy. So I took myself completely out of that because once I'm on the lane, I'm there to fire my bowlers up more so than pay attention to the screen.
So you're saying Greg would have pulled himself then?
Yes, Greg pulled himself. he said he wasn't feeling it. He was coming in tight on the head pin. You know, it's sometimes, you know, you just doesn't matter where you throw it. You hit that trough right up the gut. And thankfully he, you know, Johnny came in and, you know, did well for the back five. So it's a good choice there.
Yeah, he played great. Yeah, he came off the bench and he played great. Threw a couple great pocket shots, got it to the side, made some spares. Yeah, he did a good job of coming off that bench for sure. Interesting that your head pin spare almost played a major factor in the team total too. That's crazy. Is that something that you
threw my first ball? Yeah, once in a while. If you got the harder shots with some rotation, you can spin the pins around. Usually you're looking at maybe a 7 or like a 3-pin roll for an 8 count. Not often you get to 10, but you know, you throw it 32, 33 miles an hour, you get a little extra once in a while.
Yeah. Right off the bat, that's got to pump up your team just a little, like give you a bit of momentum when you look like you're going to have an open frame, and all of a sudden, and you come back with a strike on it right after. So that was huge.
Yeah, it pumped me up for sure. A lot of blood left the top head for sure. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, it was a solid. It's a solid game by you. I mean, good work for the team. You looked like you got some good energy going as the second half kind of wore on. So again, it's match day 1. You got 2 games in the books. You got 1 win, 1 loss, but you got a number of points on the board. All in all, got to be a good day. The league is off and rolling. We'll look forward to our next match. And now, how about you?
Yeah, it was a good day. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Just glad to be here.
And you personally, Taylor, you're heading off to Edmonton next week for TPC. We'll look forward to seeing you here.
I will not be there. I was planning on coming. We had a crotch goblin. Not very long ago. So a lot of time has been siphoned into that. So Regina, we're hoping for. See a little bit further down the line. Hoping we can make it out then.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
There you go.
Looking forward to it, buddy.
Seeing, do we have Gerald in the back? We can bring Gerald in now. That's not Gerald, but Gerald.
Hey, hey guys, sorry.
No worries.
Hey.
Oh, good, Gerald. So, hey, well done. GP Holy Rollers. That's you got to be flying high, and people are happy with that. Time to crack open the bar, don't you think?
Well, that's happening. We're pretty pleased. I told these guys they had to carry Corey when she was halfway through that game, right? So they had to start helping her out. So they definitely stepped up to the plate and did that. That was a lot of fun. Tyler, that was a lot of fun, buddy.
Enjoyed it. It's good times.
Corey, Taylor, Tyler, whatever.
No worries. We drink pitchers of beer. We forget people's names. It's fine.
Right.
Yeah. But it was. You had, a couple of key shots, right? Sean, Robert had some big games in there. Danny was steady for you today.
He was.
Got to be happy with the guys that played for sure.
We're very excited about that. It was a good start to the tournament, obviously, but it's just weird, like we're saying, that there's nobody here. But us guys up north here, we got no friends anyway. So when we bowl, we always bowl by ourselves, right? So, so we're good with this.
Yeah. Super clutch 10th frame coming down the line. Looking at it, there was definitely a clear advantage to Thunder Bay over there with the bottom 3 all having marks, and you just having the double there for Sean. But I mean, that was a huge double in 10 for Sean. That really gave you guys a chance, and then you guys were great the bottom 2.
Yeah.
So way to dig at the end there to come and steal that match back.
These guys were amazing. Appreciate that, Dexter.
Awesome.
Yeah. Is Danny happened to be around quickly?
He was that mug that was in there to begin with. There he is.
Yeah. Danny, good job. Couple of games. Haven't seen you too much, so it's hard to really chat about you. But obviously, you were great in the anchor position. The guys had major confidence in you. Doing a great shot. When you throw it, you knew right away. So how'd you feel about things out there today?
It felt really good, to be honest. Like, I haven't bowled that great in league and all that, so wasn't sure how I was going to do today. And it just was like I was bowling a tournament, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of extra focus and a little bit of extra energy, and everything kind of clicks into place, right?
Exactly. Like, it's just so easy when it comes out of your hand, and you're just like, oh, all right, cool. You know how to do that.
Yeah. Well, it looked like it was good, and looked like you're having a good time, and confident in the shot was big too. And nice work, Carter. We're not talking to you; he's in the background. Yeah, but got to give the team some confidence, Danny. 2 wins. Probably a little bit of nerves, but getting 2 wins now in this format is great for the team going forward, right?
Oh, 100%. The team bowled really well. We had to pick Scott up a few times, but what do you do? Everybody seems.
Yeah. He did get the pull on that one, but it was justified. A few loose 3 pins, so good moves by the manager to make that adjustment. So no complaints there.
Yeah, I agree there. Like myself, I thought the way I've been bowling lately, I was just like, I'll be out in the first 2 frames.
Wow. Well, good stuff, guys. We'll let you go. Your first day of playing is over. 2 games are in the books. Best of luck as you continue down the format.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
You guys.
Thanks, guys. Great playing. I love the round of applause for him.
Yeah,
That's
right.
awesome.
So let's queue up here next week, and then we'll wrap up with our commercial, and that'll be the end. Thanks, everybody, for watching today, sticking with us. Thanks, Dexter. Obviously, some solid commentating. Our next match day, there's our standing so far. Quick work by Commish. Match points. Matches remaining. Points for.
A clear top 2 at the moment, for the Russet Petal division. And a clear first place for, the Cargill division too.
Yeah. Lots of games left to play. People will be wanting in there. So nice to see that the Bombers aren't down at the bottom on their own. They've got some company. Thanks for that, Mighty Plucks. Next show, I believe, is in 2 weeks. I want to say, Dexter. Not next week because that's a TPC, so 2 weeks after that, I do believe. We'll confirm 100% to make sure we promote, but next week we'll be looking forward to having the TPC, a lot of commentating, a lot of live streaming, a lot of stuff happening there. But the next one, first look at these teams, the Regina Infinite Escapes and the Paradise Marvel, and the Panorama Mad Hatters getting into the action. Some good players to be playing in those ones, isn't there, Dex?
Yeah, absolutely. Next match will be November the 14th.
Okay.
It should be awesome. I'm excited. The Regina guys are so good. The Paradise guys are so good. This could be a whole group of some of my closest friends playing. I'm excited to see Panorama play, some of the Medicine Hat players. We see a lot of them for our Masters come out, but a lot of people don't see a lot of them at the cash tournament, so it'll be good exposure for them. But there are some great players in all 3 of those teams, so really excited to see how that turns out.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Well, thanks, buddy, to your help and your day. Carrie, thanks for your work in the background. Commissioner, IT, everything else you're doing for us back there.
Yeah.
Solid show.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Always a pleasure doing this for you guys. Thanks for the great bowling, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
Cargill is proud to be supporting a truly Canadian sport like 5-pin bowling. We look forward to watching some great competition from many competitors and bowling centers across our country. With hundreds of locations across Canada, Cargill is committed to helping the Canadian farmer thrive. Whether it is selling commodities, getting agronomic advice, fertilizer needs, crop protection, and marketing expertise, Cargill is here to help. So please enjoy this bowling. Thank you.
you.